gentlemen. We'll be on in just a moment. Turn this down. Brother Basin, you on, huh?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, brother. We're going to start in just a moment. Folks are coming into the chat room on YouTube. And I've already fired up the podcasting system, so we're going to be hitting on all platforms. And
that sounds good.
I'm about to play, folks. I'm about to play. Everybody in the chat room, I'm about to play a little sound bite from Brother Basin. So hang on to your. And here we go. Little sound bite from this brother from what he does in this program.
And time to free your mind. That's right. Free your mind Friday in full effect. So you know we do it here. Anything you want to talk about, anything's on your cranium, program right here, and release that type of stabilization that's inside your skull there. So we'll take that. And so also you catch me, I have to admit that I have to start putting up like a base broadcasting schedule there that I know I'm going to be at throughout the week. So I get a chance, of course, to go to the Chamber of Months. But there was some of my Facebook status where you can go check it out for yourself as well. And that would be cool too, so I can work on that. For the time being, catch me during the week, Tuesdays through Thursdays, and I fill in for Michael. I told you about unfortunately having that car accident. He's still recuperating and recovering. And that's Tuesdays through Thursdays on PowerVoices.com at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Central, and 10 a.m. Pacific time on the West Coast. As I fill in for him here on the Facebook Live side during the Live side Thursday. But just right now is Base Live and Free Your Mind. Right. Hey, Annabelle, how you doing? Good to see you, Diane, as well. No, it's funny. These two ladies, I met when I was in school. Annabelle and I go back to.
Okay, folks, that's a little taste of my man Chris Basin. I want to, Lions, go right ahead and introduce everybody who's in the chat room. Give everybody a nice shout out. We begin the program.
All right. Let me start out and say what's up. So Rockwell Alert Morris, COG, Aphrodisiac Autonomy TV, M. Mitch, KD84, Cayman, Radical Sister, Brenda Johnson, Captain, Nikki, Kingston in the building, Lady of Soul 502 in the building, Sheila Furnace is in the building, R.C. Jones in the building, Big L's in the building, the Queen True War Family's in the building, Andre Tompkins is in the building. Let's see here. Oh, Supreme Shabazz is in the building. Sonia C's in the building.
Yes, good people.
Maurice Carlisle's in the building. And that's it, my brother.
All right, there'll be more folks that'll be coming in, hopefully. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's do a test. Everybody out there listening in the chat room, press 1 if you can hear everything that's being broadcast right now. I want to make sure that the sound is, everyone's getting the sound. It's very important. Just go ahead and put a 1 in the chat room and let us know that everything is okay. Let us know that you can hear. Hey, Cap, I see you out there. Okay, everybody can hear us. Everybody can hear us. That's excellent. Let's get right into it. Right now, I have to give this brother a great introduction because this brother, being in Lions Den, I have to say this brother has been inspirational and inspiring for both of us. Lions Den, when was the first time you heard Chris Basin speak?
I've been hearing Chris Bass since US Talk Network.
Okay.
Mhm. And he was basically my inspiration. I was one of the listeners,
Let me
and the way he
let me stop you right there. I'm sorry, brother. Bass, if you got anything turned up on your audio, try to mute it because we can hear the feedback. If you have anything turned up on your system, let me double check mine. But I don't. And Lions, then check yours too as well,
okay.
because we're getting a little bit of double feedback. And everybody in the chat room, are you hearing like a double feedback sound? If not, then it's just probably my imagination. Probably my equipment. Let me turn something down a little bit. Is that better? Okay. Brother Basin, on your side, are you hearing any kind of like funny feedback?
I was in the beginning, but not now.
Okay. I turned something down, and that's better for the program. So, Lions, then continue. I'm sorry that I cut into what you were saying, brother, but I just wanted to fix the audio a little bit. A lot of feedback. Go right ahead and explaining your experience with Brother Bass.
Yeah, Chris Bass is obviously, I learned listening to him on US Talk Network. It was him, it was Lee Michaels, who's owner of US Talk Network at the time. Basically, you have Alpha, we got Dennis Graham, got India Declare, Cos Carson. And Chris Bass basically is one of those talk shows that speaks truth to power. And he's from Chicago, so he's basically speaking from truth to power. So I would love for him. So he's my friend, and I always gonna be my friend as well as my colleague. And I'm so happy that he's here with us today.
Let's give him a clap, brother. Brother Bass.
Oh man,
Let everybody know who you are.
yes,
You're
yes.
from Chicago. Give us a little background, brother. It's been a while since we talked to you in this capacity.
Well, first of all, let me thank you, Information Man, and to Lions Den for the kind words. It really means a lot to me. It makes the 1/4 of my Native American heart soar to hear those type of things. So, thank you very much. My background: born and raised in Chicago, South Side. Grew up in the South Shore area. My mom was a not high school, but Chicago public school principal for years. My dad was the head manager for the AR League Funeral Home on the South Side of Chicago. So my roots are here and born and raised, and always loved radio. So I was 6 years old, and I've always wanted to get into radio. I thought about getting into radio in the beginning, like anybody, like a disc jockey. But at 19, when I was in college, I went to Columbia College, Chicago, in downtown here. I got into talk radio. I listened to it. I was bitten by the bug. And something about talk radio for me, not to exclude the other formats, but for me, being 19 years old, was very challenging to listen to hear people talk for 3 or 4 hour shifts. I'm like, who can talk for 3 or 4 hours at a time? That's a lot. But I figured I'd challenge myself. So I decided to read up about it. I got internships. I started off as a talk radio producer here in Chicago at WLS-AM, and I worked there for 15 years. And I went from tech producer to talk show host, which was the natural progression for a lot of us in terrestrial radio at the time. And for me, it was a matter of just trying to find my own voice, and hoping that my voice would reach a legion of people, of listeners. If they listened, it's always great. That's what you want. If they listened and talked about you, that's still great too, because you're on their mind. So my mentality was, if I can make you think about something, I've done my job, and to be somewhat entertaining. So I've always had the mission statement for Baseline. Baseline, the show that I do, is informative and somewhat entertaining. So that's been my background for now over 25 years.
Wow. Now let me say something to you, brother Bass. I'm looking at your resume. You've hosted radio programs at WVON, 1690 AM, Talk of Chicago. You've also been in radio. You've done radio hosting for The Power of the Voice, which The Power of the Voice is the Lee Michaels, his project that he's gotten off the ground. Been involved with that brother a long time. You've been involved in hosting the urban broadcast media as well. Okay. You are a formal talk personality at jamminchicago.com, former talk show host, news anchor at WVON. I've said that before. Former radio talk show host and producer at, like you said, WLS-AM 890. And a student. Now, this is very important. This brother has his stuff together because he is a student of broadcast communication radio at Columbia College in Chicago. And high school, brother, you went to Metro High, Kenwood Academy, brother. That was in Chicago as well?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All my background came from here in Chicago. Yes, sir. Wow.
And as we go along, brother Banks, we're going to get into what in the world is happening in Chicago from your first-hand eye view, your foot on the ground, brother. But let me tell you something right now. I first remember you on the U.S. Talk when you were coming on in the morning show, and you were talking to Alpha, and you were on there with what's my man, Michaels and Agrishaw.
Andre Michael Eglishaw, correct.
Andre Agrishaw. And that's the first time I got a chance to hear you, brother, and I was very impressed by you, by everybody on the broadcast, and I was listening, and that's how I got turned on to Miss Janice Graham, India, and the whole crew. And that's how I first got introduced to you, brother. And then from there, I just kind of followed you. I knew you were doing great things in Chicago. And am I right or wrong? Radio is pretty much a trip. You go from one station to another. You have a contract with one program for a while, then you're off and you're back on. How does that all work? How does radio work?
Well, radio, like anything else, information is it's a business. Okay. And that's how you conduct it as a business. So it's an entertainment business first and foremost. So there are times, of course, where obviously you do sign a contract or you get hired and you take your time there, whatever your timetable there at that radio station. And like anything else, if somebody across the street offers you better pay, better experience, more for you to spread your wings and fly, then you take it. Yes. Absolutely. So just like any other business. And I think in my situation, it was kind of unique because in terrestrial radio, talk radio is built upon white conservative males, which I'm neither. And I can't fake the funk if I tried. So my thing was...
Repeat what you just said again for effect. We want everybody to hear that once again. Repeat that statement.
Sure. That in terrestrial radio, talk radio is geared towards white conservative males. Always has been, always will be. So that's been the foundation. And like I said before, I'm not white and I'm damn sure ain't conservative. So we can't have that. So my thing was to help to create for me my own voice. I didn't want to be conservative. And I don't like the label liberals because liberals come off too weak for me on a national front. So I have to be myself. So base is who I am. And that's just a way of life for what I try to do, try to accomplish. And I don't like people putting others into boxes or painting with a broad brush and things like that. I think you do yourself a disservice by classifying one skin or one race of people as A, B, and C. That's why we're messed up as of right now. We're probably more alike than disalike. But that's too much like right, and that's a whole another conversation we'll have in the course of our discourse. The thing about it is, for me, you put it out there, you do your best. I've never been one to say that I'm this and I'm that. Let my work speak for itself, and whoever's listening can either like it or dislike it, but that's okay too. See, some people get caught up about, well, he don't like me or she don't like me. Okay, good. That's life. Not everybody is supposed to embrace you. Mm-hmm. The haters are going to hate. People hate you on GP. They don't know who the hell you are or your background or what they may think of you. They already had their own conclusions. Mm-hmm. Just like racism, of who you are, what they think you are. And that's a mentality that has to be eradicated. But that happens in time. But for me, man, being on the radio, being a talk show host since I was 19 years old, it's the dream come true. Like any other business, you treat it as such. It is a first and foremost a business.
Okay. Lions Den, if you have any other questions for Brother Bass, can you read any of the statements in the chat room? We want to get folks involved in what's down.
All right. We're really the majority of the people in the chat room just wish you the none but the best information, man. They just say, hey, info, peace info. And basically, one person says that public radio is pathetic in general, which is Maurice Carlisle.
Okay.
And so, of course, the True Royal family said my royal grandson is strong, her feel no pain. And Chris Yahoo says, information man, you do have good people on your show, but only one of your guests was just plain misleading.
Okay. Well, everybody has different opinions. Everybody has different experiences. There's some people that I bring on that you may agree with and some that you may not agree with. And that's just the reality, because Black people are not monolithic. We don't all think the same. And matter of fact, I wouldn't want to be around people who just think one way. However, I am very much, when it comes to being Black first and being supportive of Black people and inspiring each other and supporting Black people that are doing something, now I can get behind that. Okay, that for sure. We definitely don't need, and we got a lot of that going on today where we have Black folks out here that are shuffling and jiving around, cooning around, and they are very dangerous. And Brother Bass, that's where I kind of differ, brother, that I don't think, although on the surface, it may seem like people are the same. But when it comes to Black people and the biology, and I've been studying this, brother, we're not as the same as one think we are. And what I mean by that, on a spiritual level, we're a lot different people who have it out to destroy us. Okay. And I think that what we have as most importantly is that we need to collectively work together. Tribalism, if you look at the continent of Africa in particular, tribalism has destroyed us. When you separate yourself by religion, you separate yourself by I'm rich Black person, you're a poor Black person, get the butt over there. The haves and the have-nots, so to speak. When we separate ourselves that way, it allows those that are out to do us wrong and destroy us, it allows them to be able to be victory. We have to get out of this separation. And that goal, that's been carrying along with us since slavery, plantation mentality. We just got to somehow pull ourselves out of it. You know, you got that new movie coming out. I did a video about it. That's that Superfly mess. They're regurgitating images that go right back to the 70s, trying to bring us right back. And it seems like the more and more things change, the more they remain the same. I mean, 2018, just turn it around and say 2000, maybe make it 1978. Okay, bring us on back. These same stereotypes. Brother Bass, I just I got a lot of thoughts. They call it radical, they call it off the beaten path, but I feel that these are thoughts that Black people we got to resonate on a higher level, frequency. Got to get off this low frequency stuff. And I know we want to be rainbow. We want to say everybody hold hands and work together. But God darn, brother, we've been here for over. I want to get your opinion. We've been here over 500 years, Black folks, in terms of slavery. Although our ancestors got here billions of years ago, Black folks been on this planet for over billions of years, which predates religion, by the way. But brother, what are your thoughts? I said a lot of things, but what are your thoughts?
Well, let's go back to the part you mentioned about the reboot or regurgitation of, say, the Superfly movie.
Yes.
That's currently out now. That came out in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Mayfield, who did the soundtrack for the 1970s version, made it very clear before he got on board that he was not going to get on board. He thought it was very insulting to come on board and glorify glorify a pimp and things like that. But then he rethought about it. He said, look, if I am going to do it, I'm going to do it my way and pretty much tell the story from the standpoint of a humanistic standpoint and also from uplifting. The Superfly soundtrack, to Mayfield's credit, one of the most best ever put on wax back in the day. When you hear Freddie's Dead and things like that and listen to the lyrics, it's almost like the tale of two different movies almost to some degree.
Yes.
Even though it's not portrayed as the fact to, I think like anything else, the soundtrack has to match the movie, obviously, because it's the soundtrack. But Curtis wanted to make sure that if I must do, let me do it my way. And from the lyrics to the music to everything you had, Freddie's Dead and the rest I mentioned before about that, I dare anybody go back and listen to at least 2 or more if you have time of that soundtrack. It puts you in a different perspective.
Now,
more so than the movie, because the movie, of course, is glorifying, pimp. But the guy trying to get out the business, I think what, for example, Curtis Mayfield tried to do was to humanize the character.
You're absolutely right. Let me just say this. The movie, when it arrived on the scene, was groundbreaking. But what happened was, like you said, the music actually outlived the movie. You can say that the movie, when you look at it, you say, wow, this is a lot of stereotypes, a lot of images that we don't want to see Black people being portrayed in. And I was reading some articles about this. The soundtrack has basically had a life of its own past the movie.
Correct.
I think the soundtrack is what's more powerful than the movie itself. But what I want to bring up to you and everybody listening in the chat room is that, brother, what I would say, I would submit, brother, to you and see what your opinion is of this. At some point, whether it be in our music, our entertainment, our movies, all these sort of genres, when do we as a people sort of elevate ourselves and say, that's what we used to do, that's what we have done, but this is what we're doing now? You do have to look back at your history to know what's happening all around you, as Brother Baldwin said, James Baldwin. But at the same time, when do we say as Black people on code, you know what, I just can't spend money on this type of movie. I just can't buy music anymore that's going to glorify violence, drugs, sex, and what have you. When are we going to get to that point where we can elevate above that? Because what my concern is that I'm a Generation Xer. I believe you, Brother Basin, is a Generation Xer too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me not speak for you, brother. Are you a Generation Xer or Brother Basin?
Oh, me? Well, yeah, I know what, I don't follow that, man. I know Baby Boomers, Generation X. Put me in the category if you want. I don't follow that, but I know what you're saying. But yeah, I look back. You know what? I get real quick. Somebody said, "Base, you're acting your age." Duh, I'm 50. So come on, man.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is that I'm 48 years old. So we kind of grew up. What I mean is we
in that same area. Okay, I got you. Right, category wise.
Okay, we grew up with certain values that were handed down to us, and I remember going to that movie as a child when they put it back in the theaters again because it was in 72 and 72. I was a little baby, but they brought it back out again. And what I'm concerned about is that we have a whole new generation of what they call, and I'm just saying this for the semantic sake of it all, the generation, what's that? Millennials, right?
Right.
Now they're introducing something which is a retread of a past movie that is, once again, in my opinion, is on a level of reconditioning our people to the lower common denominator that, oh, see, this is what you do when you want to get out of being poor. You got to hustle something up. You got to hustle up some drugs, okay? And then in the movie, it's showing you how, well, he wanted to get out of his hustle. He wanted to get out of the lifestyle and ride off into the sunset. When we know, because I deal with guys in the prison system, that when you live this lifestyle, there's only 2 places that you're going to go. Either the graveyard or the penitentiary. That's my concern, brother.
Yes. And your concern is very valid. And the answer is simple. The reason why we get a reboot of Superfly in 2018 is because we do not control our own images. Plain and simple. That's it. That's all. It's in the hands of other people. if we were, say, for example, thinking about the future, say, for example, go back to 1970s, like you said, 1970s era,
Yes.
that could have been a foundation to look for us down the road. We could have had our own music companies, our own TV stations, our own radio stations, our own media foundations, but we did not have that. If we did have it, they were out of bought and sold and paid for. For example, look what would have happened if Barry Gordy kept Motown.
Yes.
He already had TriStar Pictures during this time, and Motown movies, like he did for Lady Sings the Blues, The Wiz, and movies like that,
Yes.
and was on his way to becoming African American juggernaut, and he was, but it could have been much so more, especially nowadays, had he not sold it. You could have had, say, the Motown radio network. You could have had his own type of syndication of programs. It would have been fantastic. But the one thing about what we don't think about, I think, with some of us, is the future of ourselves. We live in a capitalistic society, very capitalistic, where you can sell your but we don't hang on to what we have. We give it to somebody else, and they control our images that we started off doing in the first place, but now belongs to somebody else. So when it's in the hands of somebody else, what do you expect? Retreads and stereotypes that come back to show its ugly head all over again. It's beyond sad, because you would think by this time we should know better. The ones who want to make changes, the ones who could have been in power financial wise to have our own.
Okay. Let me throw this out there, and Lions, if you have anything you want to bring up too, brother, go right ahead. But let me throw this out to you, brother Bass. A two-part question. I'm gonna put on the table right now that one of the things that impacted Black people in terms of our infrastructure, whether it be Black businesses, radio, entertainment, and what have you, because we had Black film companies back in the day. We had the Lincoln Film Company, okay, which was making Black, what they called race film at the time. We had Black thriving communities. You know, you've heard of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That's right.
We had the what they called the Black Negro League. By all accounts, it was a better brand of baseball than the MLB as we know it. Okay.
Right.
And by all accounts, Babe Ruth is not the all-time home run king, and not even Barry Bonds. It's Josh Gibson of the home state great.
You are correct.
And the best pitcher, you know, Satchel Paige.
Satchel Paige.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I had a chance to study the Negro League. I got to do a live stream about that too. I've been studying that league. I love it. Wish I was able to recreate it today and see it. But my point I'm going to put on the table right here, brother, is that I believe that one of our mistakes, and I know I'm going to catch hell for this, some people are going to disagree with me, some people will agree with me. I believe desegregation might have been a bad deal for Black people, because once we desegregated and said, oh, you can go over to Woolworths, you can go to Sears, Roebuck's Brothers and Sears, and you can spend your money at the kitchen counter or the dime store or whatever. Once Black people got desegregated into white America, so to speak, even though they didn't want us, it hurt Black businesses. You even had, if you do your research, you had Black business owners who did not agree with Dr. King because they knew that it would destroy their businesses. And my argument is that had we stayed in segregation, however you might feel about that, one thing that would have been certain is that we would have been able to maintain Black businesses because we had nowhere else to go. We couldn't go into white America. They didn't want us. So we had to create our own, which is why when you look at the debate between W.E. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, who was about what? Cooperative economics, have your own business. And W.E. Du Bois was pushing the whole thing about education, talented 10, and all that sort of thing, the sort of elitist type of what we would see as elitist or the boule, bourgeoisie type Negroes. My question is, we should have followed, in my opinion, that's my opinion, we should have followed the Booker T. Washington philosophy, which was worry about cooperative economics, have our own businesses. Because do you know that most of the Black people in this country who had their own communities, such as a Rosewood or a Black Wall Street area in Tulsa, Oklahoma, white people were very jealous of those communities because you had Black folks that had more, believe it or not, than they had, which was another reason why they had inspiration to want to destroy these communities. So with all the mouthful that I just said, brother, what are your opinions on what I've just stated?
Well, I concur wholeheartedly. There's nothing wrong with being pro your own and not anti anything else. And when you have that mentality, there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourselves and the people who look like you. Every other culture does it. Why can't we? Unfortunately, when you had the people who, like, for example, you mentioned about the great Negro Leagues. These guys were so bad. They played, and correct me if I'm wrong, you did the history on this, all-star white players from the MLB on like exhibition games and would kick their asses.
Yes.
You know, and that's how talented they were from every position. You mentioned about the great Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige and those guys, and even Jackie Robinson, you know, was in the Negro Leagues before he went to the Brooklyn Dodgers. So there's always been great talent. Unfortunately, what happens when certain white folk look at this as not only racist but competition? So we can't have that. We need to find a way to destroy it, whether it's once again go back to economics or going back to entertainment. We have to find a way to destroy it because we don't need the competition. And dare I say, behind closed doors, they probably might say, yes, they're better than us. We won't come out and say it publicly, but they are better than us in these areas. What can we do to defuse it? So once again, in neighborhoods, for example, where you have money circulating throughout the neighborhood, nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
when you say, okay, all of a sudden, I said before, let's go over across the street or go over here to another part of town because it's quote unquote better and not supporting the mom and pop stores that are in your neighborhood, the money continues to filter throughout that neighborhood. And that's what gets lost in translation too. You're investing into your neighborhood. If you go to the mom and pop store down the street, you're investing into your neighborhood, and you're not trying to be anti again. You're being pro your own. And when that was taken out of our neighborhoods, we get the quote unquote ghettos. We get the rundown houses and apartments and storefronts that are empty because that element is now gone. And that's a shame because look what could have happened if that was stayed on point.
You're right. I think, but one of the things that still bothers me, why do we fail? Like, for example, you're in radio, brother.
Yes.
And I should have, and I meant to get the statistics on this, and I'll probably just look this up real quick. If I'm not
All
mistaken, there were, once again, when we were in segregation, there were lots of black radio broadcasting programs for black people.
Mm-hmm.
And now, brother, what's happened to black radio? I mean, we know that the conservatives have taken over the radio airwaves of AM. They're taking over terrestrial. I mean, I can get in my car, drive across this country, and it will be very difficult for me to find a brother like you on radio. Okay? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
On terrestrial.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's why people are going to what we would call alternative radio, which means people are going online, listening on internet radio. Internet radio is, well, matter of fact, it ain't the future. It's already here. Okay?
Correct.
Allowing people to have a voice. And as we're on the YouTube right now, but I'm also broadcasting live through my systems. And this is reaching people all over the country and outside of the country, right?
That's right.
To give us a voice, because let me bring up something that you might be familiar with. Remember when Ronald Reagan, and everybody in the chat room, and everybody listening on all platforms, we're on Facebook Live right now, we're on Instagram Live, we're on everything live, folks. Let's just give everybody a reminder. Ronald Reagan, when he came into office, he destroyed something very important for the base. You probably know what this is. It was the what? Fairness doctrine, right?
Correct. You are right. You're on point.
Thank you, sir. The fairness doctrine was the situation where you had to have balance on television. So if you had a news program and you had a conservative come on and talk for 30 minutes about conservative issues, you had to have a liberal or a progressive or whatever you want to call it, a Green Party or whatever it was of the day. You had to have them come on and give their 30 minutes presentation so that you would have equal balance. Well, Ronald Reagan got rid of the fairness doctrine, which said you had to have balance. And once he got rid of it, it brought upon the likes of what you would call your Rush Limbaughs of the world, because all the fairness doctrine of having a balanced program went out the damn door. conservatives begin to buy up all the radio stations. Matter of fact, wasn't there a radio station in Pittsburgh that was once a black radio broadcast that got taken over and brought up by one of these conservative types, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere?
I can't think offhand. I have to probably go back and check it like you will, but you're absolutely correct. When Ronald Reagan had that type of play put into motion, and you also factor in the Telecommunications Act that was going through deterioration, you are correct. A Rush Limbaugh was born. Rush Limbaugh originally came from the West Coast in this timeline in Sacramento, and a guy named Roger Ailes, who went on to create Fox News Network, was his go-to guy. He was like his money guy from the standpoint of moving, for example, from Sacramento to New York,
Yes.
and then was able to do middays, and then been ensconced from that point because he went into a time slot back then that really didn't have no competition from the standpoint of AM radio. AM radio pretty much was dead, or was on the way to being dead because music obviously went over to FM. But AM radio was still concerned from the standpoint of how could we still limp along and make money. So they mentioned more during that time of less music, no music, talk radio, and also into sports broadcasting on the AM side. So that became the fix. But Rush Limbaugh was born because of what Ronald Reagan did, and he happened to flourish.
Wow. Wow. Let me ask you this. In your studies, your experiences, people that you've interviewed, what is the state of black radio, particularly black talk radio? Because we know when you look at BET, Bob Johnson took a lot of criticism because most of what was on BET when we were growing up was basically all video. You know,
Right.
Shake your booty, shake that
That's
booty.
right.
Right?
They were shaking their money makers, making that money for the advertising dollars.
And remember, you had you had Team Summit. You also had a 30-minute news program on BET for a short
Yes.
time.
Mhm.
And as that started to dwindle down, and of course, Travis Smiley, he kind of got his chops at that time, got himself kind of brought to prominence being on there. And he had Ed Gordon and various.
Yes.
And who was the brother that was on there? I think he works for Washington Post. Ed, he used to give like editorials in the interview. What was that brother's name?
No, I can't.
Ed Malone, Ed Malone or something. Golly.
But Ed Gordon was I loved Ed Gordon, man. Ed Gordon was network material. He could have easily went to ABC, NBC, CBS. He was that type of polished and still is a polished broadcaster. And as a youngster watching BET, and I was getting to talk radio, looking for people who looked like me that was out there. He was one of my heroes, man. Him and Ed Bradley from CBS on 60 Minutes and those guys. I liked Tavis at one point before he lost his damn mind, but he was good, in the beginning, No, let me say this about Tavis real quick. I'll be the first to admit I like Tavis. I did. Because once again, as a broadcaster myself, you look for people who look like you to give you, a positive encouragement. I like Tavis. We knew the same people, almost reached out to him until he started to go south. But I just thought it was kind of stupid. It was stupid. How can you sit there as Tavis Smiley, have these books about being a disciple of Dr. King, and here we have back in 2008, the running for the presidency of the first African-American male, and you feel, as some people say, some sort of way because, you didn't get the job or you're jealous? And see, that's the thing about black folk that I can't stand. It's always personal. And look, shouldn't be that way. We have a deep hatred for ourselves. It has to stop. And I don't think it's ever going to will. It's been ingrained in us all these years, being in a land we should not have been here in the first place.
It's I'm gonna quote who I enjoy all the time, and you probably will recognize this quote. I don't care. I'm gonna keep saying it, get it through people's mind. In America, we are culturally conditioned. And as a manifestation of that cultural conditioning, we will, first of all, see white as superior and black as inferior. And as that manifestation of that, we will underestimate, marginalize, and undervalue black people. And Black people, we do it to ourselves. White people do it to us, and we reinforce that in the way we treat each other. I was telling folks earlier today, Brother Basin, when I was doing a live stream while I was going out taking a walk, that there was a sister in my area that had a bakery. And I go in there and support her bakery. You know, anytime I see a Black business and they're trying to get themselves off the ground, I'm going to support it, right? Well, her business went out of business because why? Us Negroes did not support. It seems like when one of us, it seems like, I'm just generalizing here, it seems like sometimes we don't like to see each other do good. And that once you're doing good for yourself or you're trying to get a come up, you will find that one of us will try to hate on another. And when we get on these airways and YouTube and all the things that we do, I've had Black folks on the panel and we talk inspiring things about what we need to do. But I must say, the fact that we have this sort of self-hate in some cases, depending on who it is the one thing that will keep us from achieving our true goals in life as individuals and as collectively. When you have your own that won't even support you. And we do it to each other on the job as well. Okay?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's across the board. And it's a disease. And it's hard to eradicate it because sometimes we don't even know we're doing it. It's just that ingrained. And taking away just human condition or human jealousy, I'm talking about us as a people. You know there's a little bit extra when it comes from our own people that something is wrong somewhere, why you player hating, why you're doing this. And to go back to what you said earlier about the whole talk radio thing with Black Talk Radio, as us as Black talk show hosts or programs, we're sporadic. You got to find us where you can find us at, like you're doing your show right now on the internet and various streams. We're all over the place now. So it's been that way because they have broken up a lot of Black talk stations or Black stations in general, or they were brought up by the conglomerates of iHeartRadio or now Intercom Radio to the point where our format has been phased out or controlled by somebody else and not us. And that has been the eradication of, say, Black talk radio for a lot of years. Like here in Chicago, we still have WVON, one of the top talk stations in the nation when it came to placating and playing towards African Americans was concerned.
Yes.
We're still around. They're still around. I've been invited back on various shows from time to time, and it's more than my honor to do so. And I used to work there. So I think what happens with a lot of talk radio personalities is that what happens is there's no room for us, quote unquote, and it only could be so many Kathy Hughes, syndication one and radio one. So we have to find our own avenue to do what we do, like what I do when I do my Facebook Live and work with Lee Michaels. And so we're all over the place in individual pockets. I'd rather have that than nothing at all.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But where, in terms of terrestrial radio, we have a lot of folks that have gone into the internet route now. What's the future for it? You worked at WVON. How is WVON doing? Are they having less people listening? Is it affecting their bottom line economically? Because let's be honest, there is radio. You've got to have advertising. You've got to have support. You don't get advertising, you don't get your ratings up, then it affects the station, it affects the individual personalities. What's the state of that for Black people in terms of terrestrial radio?
Well, you have to use technology. What I mean by that is, for example, if you do listen to terrestrial radio, say it was a WVON, you promote the internet options. We've been doing that now for years. To say go to WVON.com or iHeartRadio. Not only is it like a corporate thing, but it's a must-do thing because now you can do radio and listen to radio from any tablet, cell phone, computer. You're not stationary anymore. You can be all over the place. Like you said earlier, information man, you was out taking a stroll, taking a walk, and you went on live. Same with Lions did anybody. We can all do it. And so when we have that type of accessibility, you have to always promote it. And the one thing that I appreciate about my time at WVON was the fact that I again reiterate about being pro my own, about people out there who look like me, and I get a chance to talk to them, and that's the way it goes, and not to be anti anything else. It was just a lot of fun. And when I'm called back for various shows, it's more than my honor to do it. But I also stress that the fact that we could have been completely out of the game. I give you a perfect example. So if
Okay.
you was on terrestrial radio
Okay.
and this goes across the board with anybody, and you were say you're on Monday through Friday. So say Wednesday, you get off your shift and go to the boss. The boss wants to see you, and the boss tells you, "Well, you know what? We're going to park coming right now. You're fired."
Oh, wow.
And then that'll be that. Oh yeah, that's how man. They don't play, man. And they would tell you right there, you can't do anything about it. There are no more last shows to go back on the air and thank the audience, because what happened over the years was when they're giving people last shows, they would cuss out the management on the air, and so they could give them the last word. So that had to stop. So, but really, on a serious note, they would fire you off your off air, and that was it. And so, thank God for technology, because you can go online and have a site or have a social media page or a website of your own and tell your side of the story. Let everybody know what happened to you, that it's not your fault, that you were fired by management at your former place, and keep the information going, literally. And that's always a good thing. So they stopped doing last shows for various people. And when you are a personality, you have a connection to the audience that has a magic feel to it,
Yes.
because not everybody can do that type of thing. Not everybody can do that. It's a blessing from above, as far as I'm concerned. You have to be born with it, and people follow you because they follow you, and you are part of a radio station where they follow you because you work for said station. But I think they get lost in translation, because they'll say, "Oh, we could put anybody else up in there, and they'll do the job." Yes and no. I mean, it's really the crapshoot, especially when we remove a popular person who has great ratings and a great following, and replace them with someone that they not necessarily want to hear. But that's just the politics of the business. My point is always the following:
Okay.
if you have something to say that's important, somebody will listen to you. It goes in broadcasting and said in life. And I also believe that when it comes to us as people, if anything these days should teach us, but whoever that guy is in office as the president or alleged to be the president, to us as people right now, we should be more closer together as family. He's anti, we're pro. We should be together, man.
Let me say something right here, Basin. For the circles that I run in, especially with the folks in the chat room, a lot of people say that maybe in some cases, Donald Trump, in some ways, is a blessing for this reason: that his racism, in my opinion, his anti, sort of, he's just, to me, he executes a lot of racism that reinforces white supremacy in the country. He's relaxing laws on the book that causes the Justice Department to look at the white hate group. They're trying to say that black people who have an ideology that we want to love ourselves and be black first, that we're somehow pushing a black extremist type of ideology, that they are now, the FBI is going to look at what you're doing, look at you, deem you as something. My question to you, brother, and everyone has been feeling like this, that maybe a Donald Trump is just what we needed, black people in the modern age. I mean, black people during the 60s and 70s and 50s, they had something that united them together, right? Because we're so integrated in society, maybe Donald Trump is just what we need to get to realize that we got to work together. We got to stay together. We got to work together, because he's not cutting us any slack. He's cutting this, they're cutting that. Okay. They're doing everything. Okay.
Yes.
The Republicans control the House, they control the Senate. So this is maybe just what we need. Brother.
Yes. No, you're right. We do need that. I concur wholeheartedly. We should take this as a sign that we need to become more of respecting ourselves and loving ourselves. It should be a no-brainer. Not everybody's going to be a part of that. I understand that. We have to understand. Look, when it comes to him, 45, we knew before he became president who he was. We knew that he was misogynistic. We knew that he is a constant liar. You know, he probably wouldn't know the truth if it bit him in the half moon at this point. He just lied so much, he can't do the truth no more, and he even knows that. So when you're misogynistic, egomaniac, and you know that now, unfortunately, he is the president, do you want to align yourself with someone like that, depending on who you are? Yes or no? And me personally, no. And a lot of us say no, obviously. So where do we go from here? We should look within ourselves and say, you know what? Let's look at us and take care of us. But we have to have honest dialogue. So what I mean by that is, come to the table, don't hold anything back, because you know if we're family, we should talk to ourselves and amongst ourselves and let it does everything on the table. I don't like you for A, B, and C. I don't like you for A, B, and C either. We have to be cleansing of these haterisms and why we so-called quote unquote don't like our own brothers and sisters. We need that dialogue seriously. Once we get past that, nothing should stop us. Nothing at all. But we have to break some hearts and break some souls and rebuild from that conversations and go forward.
Okay, let me. I agree with you, brother Bates, but I also believe that we're only going to be able to save so many of our people. There are some of our people who are not going to listen, and the reality is that only a few are going to hear these sounds and move towards that light into what can liberate us. And there's some that will say no, like in the Superfly movie in 1972. There's some black folks that are going to say, nigga, what's your problem? You got color TV? you got a house? Ain't nothing better than this. It happened, you know? You're going to have that mentality. And guess what? They're lowering your frequencies, black people. Get the hell away from them because they're operating on low vibrations. You need to operate on high vibration. With that said, Lions Den, do me a favor, brother. Let's get into the chat room and see what folks are saying. They might even have questions for Brother Bass. And then as you name them, say ask your questions to Brother Bass too, brother.
I got you. We got a lot of comments from people in the chat room, mostly about Donald Trump. so let's start out with Dallas Slade for a minute. Donald Trump is going to make us unite or perish straight up. The real Aaron Collins says 45 looks like a giant pile of Pepto-Bismol.
Okay.
Maurice Carlisle says the Coonettes, and the bootlickers are preventing us to move as a collective. Let's see. That's okay. August Dream says we're in a crazy reality. If someone like a Trump is what we need. And Chris, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay. When did you and Lee Michaels met when he was on U.S. Talk Network?
Oh, good question. Thank you. I've heard of Lee prior to our meeting. Lee Michaels here in Chicago. For those of you familiar with the scene, we are really the hope originators of house music. And house music was never on the radio until Lee Michaels programmed it on the former WBMX 102.7 FM here in the city. And he brought house music to the airwaves. And from there, he worked in great markets like Chicago, of course, and New York and LA, and all parts in between. And then went into talk, working with the great Kathy Hughes at Radio 1 Syndication 1. And so in the beginning, for example, the programs you hear right now of, what's his name, Reverend Al Sharpton's program, he was there, meaning Lee from his exception. So his legendary status is through the roof. I always heard of the man. I didn't meet him over the phone until 2008. And that's how we met over the phone. Then he brought me on board for USTalkNetwork.com. And we didn't physically meet face-to-face until he got here to Chicago to program Urban Broadcast Media, which I was brought on board for that back in around, this is about 4 or 5 years ago. And Lee is just one of those guys where he is my guru. He is one of those just game changers who could come in and just change the game, highly intelligent. He'll go kick my ass for saying these things about him, but it's true. But he is one of those guys who's just, he's the man. He is the man. And to know him is to love him. He is my brother, He is my leader, and someone like him you need in your corner. And not only that, all the accolades I just gave, he's just a good guy, period. And you can ask for a better thing like that. We meet somebody.
Yeah, read this. Real Aaron Collins says, I've been saying that about Trump since he's gotten elected. Yeah, brother Aaron Collins has been saying that he's just what we needed to boost ourselves.
I agree.
I have to let you know, brother Lee Michaels, a long time ago on the U.S. Talk, I was listening to him one time. I used to call in and give my opinion.
Yes, you did.
On Graham's show, and I used to do it on Andre, on his broadcast. And I remember Lee Michael was saying one time, he said, we need more people that speak up and say things, put things on point, like an information man. He talked about how we need to build more broadcasting networks so we can get this type of talent on air. And I'm going to tell you that stuck with me. And me and Lions, they've been together for a long time. We were doing some stuff on Blog Talk. We've done stuff primarily on Facebook, and over time we just kind of grown and have grown. And I want to say one thing: we cannot be where we have grown to right now without everybody that's in the chat room listening to us. Our subscribership is growing and growing, but I'm not going to get a big hit over that. And we just want to keep bringing quality material to folks. And I want to tell you, brother, once again, basically, I've listened to you. Me and Lions Den actually got inspired by what you brothers were doing on air, which is one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing now, is because you guys inspired us.
Oh man, thank you both brothers, man. I remember Lions invited me on his show years back, and I've been a couple of times, and I've been more than honored. Just our first time working all together with information, all three of us, and I want to say I thank you so much on a personal level. I just never thought that anything I would do would inspire people. I just never thought that, because I just was happy and blessed to be in the field I would want to be in, and then just do my job and go home. But when you look back on it now, when I realize that, once again, people like what you do, they were inspired what you do, I'm extremely humbled. Thank you so much. And knowing Lee Michaels, like you guys know, and everything else, that guy, you can't help but be inspired. He is just, he is one of those guys that can put his arm around your shoulder and show you the way to go. And he'll do that for you. And just like myself, I learned from him. If anything you guys need from me, you know where to find me at. It's not just Hollywood talk or radio talk. I shoot from the hip. I don't bull crap. If you need me, I'm already there. So once again, thank you for the kind words.
Oh, definitely, brother. Our goal is to eventually try to get, if not everybody together, I know that's going to be difficult, but to get each person that inspired us. My goal is to get, I talked to India. She's going to be coming on board to a show with us.
Okay, yeah. Hey, how's she doing?
She's doing fine, brother. She's still doing her Blog Talk radio program on Friday.
Good.
I want to get her to come on so she can get some more reach out to other people. My goal, once Brother Michaels recovers, because he has, from time to time, when we were doing stuff primarily on Facebook Live, he has kind of snuck himself in and listened to us. But my goal, once he gets well, is to try to get him on, and maybe with the help of Lee Michaels, we could get blessed with Andre Agashaw.
Oh, yes.
I'd like to get him. And then, of course, as I told you yesterday, we've been searching for Alpha. Where's Alpha?
Yeah, he chomped at the bit, man, because, like I said, I've been filling in for Lee on the Facebook Live side since an unfortunate accident, and Lee is doing well. He's recovering. I speak to Lee every time before I sign on, so he's doing good, just day to day like anything else. I know Alpha's chomping at the bit to get on, man, because all the stuff is going on in the news. I know he's probably foaming at the mouth. Well, he's Alpha, for God's sakes. That's what he does.
Well, I definitely got to get Alpha on, and I want to try to bring him in and make him a fixture into what we're doing. Now, I'm going to need to bring you in from time to time, brother, because you're in Chicago. You're on the ground. And before I get into this, is a two-part question. Now, I'm going to ask you this first question, and then I want to get into what the hell is going on in Chicago from your point of view. This is the question I'm going to ask you first.
All right.
And you can say it like it is, because we got people in the chat room listening to us. they're a rough crowd, brother. They can hear it all. They'll say it all. Okay, they'll tell you like it is themselves.
My
Brother,
type of crowd.
good, brother. In all the years that you've done radio, have you ever had an experience where you were told by even people that look like us, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that, brother? Have you been censored that way where they say you can't talk about
Yes, many times. And I think part of it deals with the fact that some scared Negroes want to put their fear into you, saying, "Well, you shouldn't say things like that," and "How dare you?" And I walk a different path. I'm a different ilk. I fear no person, nobody. I don't even fear dogs no more. So that don't bother me. So if someone's trying to be fearful and put their fear tactics on me, you're waving the wrong stick. It just not going to work with me. I know they probably mean well, and I know that in their minds they're trying to protect me or trying to go against me. Go right ahead. You're wasting your time. But of course, people come against you or want to tell you to stop saying type of things because they're afraid, probably scared that at times old white Mazda is going to come down on them and me. So no, I do believe in Malcolm X's old speech about the house Negro and the field Negro. I myself personally, I'm in the field.
See, that's what I was afraid of, is that you've got situations where you're broadcasting information, which is, as I always say personally, to open up one's mind, to inspire people. And then you would have people, well, I should know this already. You would have people who look like you, who will censor you and say, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. Let me give you a perfect example. Me and Lions Den, man, we come up from the dirt, man. We were doing Blog Talk Radio. Something happened where Lions Den couldn't continue his broadcast. We had equipment issues. We got connected with who was that brother we got connected with, Lions Den?
Basically, we started out with so I couldn't remember who that gentleman's name was, but we started out with him.
Well, let me just say this, Lions Den, because for time and everything like that. Basically, in a nutshell, me and Lions Den were doing a program. It was his platform. He had different people on the platform doing sports and what have you. And of course, we were probably one of the most controversial shows.
Oh, I know. Info. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's Michael Bonner.
And to be quite honest with everybody out there, me and Lions Den, we've been actually mild on this YouTube and this broadcasting that we've been doing on the podcasting speak. Okay, we actually were more raw. I think we were more raw when we were doing Blog Talk Radio, Lions Den. We were
more controversial. Yeah.
I might get back to that, but the problem with doing that is that YouTube messes with you. It shuts you down completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if we were to do the broadcast that we did on Blog Talk, brother, this channel would have been shut down weeks ago, months ago.
Exactly.
But so what happened is me and Lions Den had a very controversial show on this brother's platform. And I said a lot of controversial things. And guess what he did to us, Basin? He censored us. He told Lions Den, I'll keep you on the network, but you're gonna have to get rid of Information Man, because he said things that I don't like and I don't agree with, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Now what happened is he had a brother that was doing sports. Okay, that brother's doing sports. That brother is in his lane. I did a program which I said that one of the problems that we have as Black people is that sometimes we get too focused on sports and play, and that we want entertainment a lot sometimes, and that we really wake ourselves up to other realities. And so he took it personal because he liked doing sports programs himself. And I'm saying to myself, brother, I'm not pointing at you as an individual. That's what you do. We're talking about social issues here. So therefore, it was relevant to the damn conversation. And so he didn't like that. And it was a Black man that did this to us, folks. And so he said, Lions Den, it's either my show and you or your boy Information Man. Make a decision. This was a Black person that did this. And I even got in arguments with him.
You know what I said, Chris? You know what I said, though, Chris?
What'd you say?
I told Michael Bonner, I said, if Information Man goes, I go.
Good for you, brother.
And then
Good
at
for
that
you.
time, you know, Michael Bonner and I parted ways after that. But
Yeah.
it goes to show that it's about loyalty. It's about
Well, of course.
respect.
You
And
are.
basically,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. You go ahead. Please finish. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I would say I admire that, and the both of you, you went through that for a reason because it brought you to where you are now. I don't believe in coincidences. So the reason you had to go through that as a wake up call or altar call moment is to bring you to where you are. Now look at all these platforms you have. You two are still together. The fact that you showed the fact about unity, once again, love and respect is a good thing. And also, be iterate the following: you always heard the term, "It's don't take it personal. It's just business." In Excuse My language,
Right.
that's bullshit. It's always
Yeah.
been personal.
Yeah.
It's always been personal. I don't give a damn who you are. It's always personal. Whoever said that probably was about to get their asses kicked, in the moment, because that makes no sense to me. If you're a person who has pride in their work, that's personal. It's automatically
Mm-hmm.
personal. So don't put that, it's just business stuff. No, no. And I think just listen to your story. The guy, I took it personally about the whole sports and entertainment thing and came after you, what you should never have done. It's two separate things. You have sports entertainment and, of course, social issues as two different topics. But he was feeling in some sort of way to the point where somebody like you had to go. And it is really a damn shame.
Yeah, but see, it reminded me that you have black folks out here who are afraid and scared
Yes.
of talk. And I think, to be quite honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and it's not just me flapping at the wind here, I believe the brother was a little jealous because our program
Well,
was getting a lot more attention.
okay, I wasn't gonna go there, but that's probably a whole thing in a nutshell, man. I from my experiences, when they hate on you because they're jealous and can't do what you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it.
So we sort of evolved into what we're doing now, brother. And what I can say is that YouTube, they like to shut you down when they consider hate speech. But we also have Black Junction TV, which I have a channel over there. And I'm about to interview the brother who created Black Junction TV next Sunday, I believe at 5:30 or 5:30 his time, because he's in the East Coast. And because a lot of us are saying we want to move away from YouTube as much as possible and start doing more live streaming on Black Junction TV. They're in the midst of trying to get their live streaming off the ground. And if that's possible, it's going to be a game changer, because it will be a place where black folks can speak their mind collectively, individually, and say things that the reality is that you can't say on YouTube, simply because they want to keep us from speaking truth. What we experience, Brother Bass, and everybody in the chat room knows this because they've experienced on their channels, is that when we assemble a number of black folks, women and men, who are talking about real talk that impacts black people, and we're coming up with solutions, we begin to have problems with our broadcast. Sound starts to get weak. Picture starts to come in unclear. All sorts of things are happening. People are getting kicked out of the panel without you rejecting them. All sorts of weird things are going on. And what I'm telling you is that whatever's out there's a system out there, something in place that does not want black people to come together and speak truth.
Well, that makes sense to me because just the fact that you guys are onto something or got kicked off the frequency, got kicked off, the stream, you're doing something right. Going back to, Mr. Bonner, the fact that he got jealous, you guys are doing something right. So you have to, in order for you to embrace other people, you have to first embrace yourself. So let's go, for example, just on talent alone, from a talent perspective. It takes a while to develop a style of broadcast for you to pull off what you do. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time and experience and making some decisions, going back to the lab to recreate things and to edit and to add and subtract. So it takes time. But people who are in the same industry as you are do not put the time in, so they are jealous of you because of what you're accomplishing. And sometimes they can see things in you can't see in yourself yet. So, but once again, you provide in their minds, and you are a threat to them. So because instead of
Wow.
embracing you and saying let's all work together, and hell, if I'm slacking, maybe I can learn something from you. I can learn something from Lion, from Information Man. What makes you guys tick? And I could take it from there and get my own thing going. But no, you got these assholes out here who are extremely jealous, who don't want to see you on the come ups, instead of all becoming embracing as one. Let's destroy it. And that's been our factor in any walk of life. There's always, I hate to say it, a Judas who cannot stand the revelation or people coming together. Somebody got to sell out or break up everything.
You're absolutely right. Lions,
Right.
do me a favor and read in the chat room, because True Royal Family is saying that she's had a lot of stuff happen to her. A lot of bad things happen to them. Read if you can. And just so you know, Brother Bass, I put some of your information in the chat room. I put your YouTube channel.
Well, thank you.
I put your Twitter handle in there so that people can start following you that are in this chat room and those that will be listening to this program.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
People watching us live right now, about 80 people so far. Go right ahead, Lions Den. I'm sorry.
Okay, info. A lot of chat people in the chat room were concerned that a chat person named Mimi Doll was blocked.
Blocked?
And we really didn't know how she got blocked, and people want to know how we unblocked her.
I've never blocked Mimi Doll. So let me see. How can I? You know what I can do? I'll have to go to her channel. Does she have a channel so that I can go see if something's wrong here? I would never block Mimi Doll. Matter of fact, she was in my stream this morning. See, something's going
Right.
something's going on. I'm telling y'all, folks, and they go Gab Talk Media. What's up, brother? Let me tell you something. Though. This morning when I was doing my morning walk in my sun gaze, I saw Mimi Doll in my stream. So I know darn well I didn't block her. This is the kind of stuff that goes on, Brother Basin, in the world of what we're doing in this world. I don't know what sort of weird stuff that goes on in the radio world, in the terrestrial radio world, but this is what goes on in this world that me and Lions Den are in, where they're messing with us. They're dropping people off of our panels. Yeah. People are being blocked that we never blocked. And I submit once again, if all three of us were on here talking about, man, I want to get some weed, where the ladies at tonight, where the club at, you know?
Oh yeah.
And we get high definition sound, high definition picture. Of course. Beautiful. I'll probably get more subscribers too if I was talking that nonsense. I'll probably have 1 million subscribers by now.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, everybody smoking loud. You know, let me get my LeBron on. Someone told me they started calling the weed LeBron out there in California, and some bad bitch and all this type of stuff. All these various names for weed. So everybody get high. But no, you're right, because that carries to look. If you want to lull people to sleep, you give them the invitation to lull the sleep to happen. So when you put in drugs in the community and liquor stores in every corner and all access to weed and guns to destroy, I'm not saying recreational stuff. Okay, that's fine. I'm talking about people who go further with that when we talk about fatalities in our communities. And that's never a good thing, but we get blinded by the fact that we become what we hate. And that becomes a whole different dynamic because we start to hate ourselves.
That's right. That's right. With that, you know what? You just moved us into our next discussion, brother. From your experience, growing up, living in Chicago, Illinois, Chi-Town, they call it. Brother, what's going on? Because I have one other question. I have a two-part question. Let us know what's going on in Chicago from your vantage point. And I also have another question, too, for you. I read an article a couple of years back that they've got these black sites in Chicago where black people have disappeared off the streets for whatever reason. There's something else going on in Chicago that's weird. Maybe I'm talking fairy tales, but brother, from your vantage point, what the hell is going on in Chicago?
Well, one thing that's happening recently is that here on the South Side and various pockets of the South Side, there have been multiple deaths of females, of young girls starting from the age of 16, between 16 and 25. And that's kind of unusual because unfortunately, the statistic goes about African American males with fatalities. Now all of a sudden we see an increase of females. Now, say what you want about conspiracy theories. Years ago in Atlanta, they had the Atlanta child murders back in the day. And there was a guy who was, I guess he was pinned for these murders. But scientists had said, and forensics said that the young men and boys that were found, that were all black, but there was a slit in the bottom of their scrotum sacs. Each one of them had that going on.
Oh my God.
And that right there shows you right there that is, look, you can go look at information for yourself. Everybody can go on certain, don't get on every type of line. You can ask questions, go on certain credible websites and find information about this yourself. I was working in radio, I wasn't working in radio, but I knew people who did work in radio and broadcasting, and people said that happened to be a true story. And all the networks at the time reported about that. It kind of fell on deaf ears because that's not, as they say in the networks, if it bleeds, it leads. So that scary phrase to say is about whatever's horrific, that leads the newscast first on the national or local levels. And so when that story came out, it was broadcasted, but it kind of fell to the wayside. And it would not surprise me a bit that you're talking about body organs being sold and things of that nature, because that world exists out there. Drug trafficking, sex trafficking, they exist. It's not just fantasy or conspiracy theories. This is true. These things are happening. Nobody talks about it. We get more information now because we have social media and but other than that, yes, it's out there. So it would not surprise me a bit. These unfortunate females that have been found dead could have probably used some sort of experiment. And I don't like the fact that all of a sudden there's an increase in black girls, because once again, what we don't like, in the summertime here in Chicago, all the gangbangers come out and then the stats go high because now it's the summertime. I used to love the wintertime because nobody got killed. Not in the higher percentages, but now it's warm outside. Hey, I want to go outside, and have a good time and wear shorts and, try to, talk to a couple of females every now and again. But shoot, man, they shooting everywhere. It's not just one side of town, it's all over the place. It's a damn shit. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, as they call it, Chirac, but certain neighborhoods do have certain things. But I have noticed an increase in all neighborhoods, south side, west side, north side, hell, even downtown recently. There's been some shootings. So my point is, you cannot place it to one area, because whoever is packing going to a certain area is going to start shooting. That's how it is. It's sad because there's an increase, and there seems to be not enough police law enforcement to do it. I'll start to put it this way: not to put the money into it for it to be eradicated.
Wow.
I got a question.
Before you
Yeah,
get
sure.
to question, Lines, then, can you let me just say this? Everybody in the chat room, can you please let Mimi Dong know that I did not block her? This is more of YouTube buffoonery. So if somebody can put her link into the chat room for her channel, so that I can somehow go to her channel, see if there's some kind of way that I've got her blocked. And I don't know how that could be possible, because I would never do something like that. I don't know how that could have happened, but I just want her to know that personally, because this is more of YouTube buffoonery going on here. I'm sorry to cut you off, Lions. Then go right ahead.
Okay, info. Chris Bates, I just did a report earlier on did a YouTuber named Zach TV. I don't know if you heard about him. The guy's from Chicago. He always interviewed rappers and local artists over there in the city, and he was brutally murdered.
Yeah.
The question I want to know is why, and I agree with info with this question, but why are there so many homicides in the Chicago area? Is it gang related, or is it because people randomly killing each other? What's going on in Chicago right now?
Well, in certain areas, here, let's take for the South Side, for example. Everything you said is all the above. You have gang members and random people with guns on them going around shooting randomly. Now, here's the thing. You can, once upon a time ago, in my humble opinion, if you're a law enforcement, can infiltrate these gangs and then have a timetable and data about the gangs and where they're going to be and things of that nature, and and have that part of your plan to bust it up. But what you got to consider are the people who are not part of the gangs who are having guns on their persons. So that becomes a whole different. You can't manage. It's impossible to manage individual people, let alone a gang is better, because everybody is in one area. So it's about South Side, West Side with certain gangs, and they have a place to meet or meeting places like that. That's a more of a controlled area if you're the police enforcement, law enforcement, to infiltrate that. But just random people walking down the street, that's hard to manage. So that is the X factor as far as I'm concerned. The random people just get into an argument over nothing, for example, put out a gun and shooting somebody. That's the problem. And that's the problem they have to work on. It's not the easiest thing. It wasn't meant to be easy. But they were to try to find a way to stop individual people. Once again, it's more than difficult. But let's go back to the main thing. Who in the hell is allowing the guns to get into the community in the first place? Nobody wants to go there. But that's the main problem in general. Somebody has accessibility to go to this neighborhood or neighborhoods and sell these guns. It's beyond incredible.
Brother Bates, let me say something to you. What about this is the two-part question. Well, this is what I'm thinking, what I'm hearing. Is it true or false that a lot of the guns that are coming in Chicago are coming in from Indiana?
True.
Okay. Is it true or false, or maybe it's a half true? The police department in Chicago have had a history of corruption. The police department, the rumors I'm hearing is it possible that some of these corrupt police in Chicago may be killing black people, particularly black males, and making it look like it's a gang-related shooting to cause what? Strife between gangs, keep confusion going, and then also you have money and drugs involved. I just found out, ISN gave a report that in San Francisco, a Latino man was shot by a police officer running away. Once again, another shooting where someone's running away from the police. So how much of that are you willing to say, okay, I can believe some of that, all of that, I don't know. Because we know that Chicago has a long history. It's not, people think that Chicago is violent because of black people. Wait a minute, let's go back to the Irish and the Italians, okay? Al Capone and all that Tommy gun shooting that was going on out there, okay? So it ain't just black folks that have been violent or have had some issues. White folks brought violence. Europeans brought violence to Chicago as well. Long history of it. So I know I said a lot there, brother. How much are you willing to digest as some truth, and how much are you willing to say, well, we gotta re-examine that?
Well, let's go for a history lesson real quick. You said about the Irish. Okay. In Chicago, for example, on the South Side, the Irish were, I guess, considered the quote-unquote black people or Negroes of their time. They get into bar fights. They had to be, police had to be called all the time to go to these Irish neighborhoods, and they would put them in the wagons. And to the point, they nicknamed them paddy wagons, Paddy, because of the Irish.
All right.
That turned to come overnight. Paddy wagons came from the Irish people because they were always in there because they were always drunk, and then take them down to the courthouse or to the police department. So know your history, people. So go back and check it out for yourself if you like. And so we fast forward to where we are now. Put it like that. I don't have any data proof in front of me. What you said, for example, about crooked police or corrupted police, but yes, I would go along with that. It was hell. There was an article came out years ago about certain police officers who were still gang affiliated. So look,
corruption.
Yes, absolutely. Why? Because it's money. If you, for example, depending on your, once again, let me see, let me iterate this. Let me know, because I want everybody to know this. Not all police officers fall under this under this situation, but the ones who do fall under it, you know who I'm talking about, the corrupt ones. There's always somebody crooked in any type of situation. Back to the police. If they make a certain salary per year, which they do, and they're able to get some more money off the street, tax-free, can't, be traced back to them, you're going to think twice. Now, are you going to honor the badge or dishonor the badge? And we've seen from day one a lot of police officers dishonoring that badge. They don't want to be a part of it. So they give the illusion that they're protecting the law, but they're really protecting themselves or other gang members, because now they have more power and pull if you're still affiliated or got affiliated through a gang because of money.
Okay, now Brother Bass, you're familiar with the fact that policing comes out of during the slave time, when you had what you would call bounty hunters. So the policing system comes out of a time in which they've always been running and hunting after black people and shooting and killing us and trying to bring us back to the slave plantation. You understand that history, right, brother?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And are you familiar with the history that a lot of the Irish that were able to go into the police department, because those were the only jobs that were offered for them? You understand that the Irish have never been any, I would say, big time friends of black people. Especially in Chicago, they have executed oppression over us too.
Yes, they have, unfortunately.
Very unfortunately.
Yes.
But let me say something. The gang structure in Chicago. Is there any troops going on like you have in Los Angeles, California, in the West Coast where we are? The Bloods and the Crips, from the outside, it appears that they have been able to put some of their issues and to work together. Now, I say it appears. You never know what's going on behind the closed doors, but it appears that they're seeming to work together. Of course, there's those that don't want that. What about the gang structure in Chicago? Is there any sense that they're saying to themselves, we're tired of seeing our people get killed, kind of change from this? What do you think is happening? Or is it just the same old, same old?
I do believe there are people out there, obviously, who want change. Once it goes back to what I said about individual accomplishments, we do have peaceful vigils, peaceful marches in certain neighborhoods to help curb the gang violence. There was one here recently, a couple of nights ago, 2 nights ago, where people gathered around areas in their neighborhood where people got shot and killed, and they were out there with their candles, just pretty much saying we don't want violence in our neighborhoods. We want our children to play peacefully without anything happening, shooting-wise. You also have people who just try their best to deal. But here's the thing, too.
Okay.
I don't expect black leaders to talk for me, to take up for me. I'll do it myself. And other people, I think, need to get on this bandwagon, because some, and I won't mention any names, some black leaders are in it for themselves. As long as they have a paycheck in their hand to take care of their own individual businesses, there are, I'll go on and say it, there are Uncle Toms.
Yes,
they become puppets.
Information man. Say what you got to say.
Absolutely. There you go. They become puppets of the industry, and they got the hands way up their assholes, and somebody making them speak and talk the talk. So if you're getting a check with a lot of zeros on it, all right, boss, what do you want me to say to the people? And then us as the people get misinformation because they've been bought and paid for that perspective. We can't fall for that anymore, people. We have to move on from that. And not everybody's going to have your best interest in heart when it comes to so-called leadership. Look within yourself. Look within your neighborhoods, once again, your family and friends, the ones you can't get on a certain level with. Make that happen. Because if you constantly are looking towards certain leaders who are going to screw, blue, and tattoo you all the time, you'll never get anywhere. You'll never get anywhere at all. So you have to think progressively and get on board to the fact that people, we got to start the respect and the love. It's like starting all over again. Yes. If you think about it. And we have to get back to that and not looking at him, her, or him for guidance, because they may not really care for me in the first place.
That's right. Lions, then go ahead and read some of the questions in the chat room that people may have for Brother Bass, or just questions in general. And then we're going to go on to another. Brother Bass, what's your time like, brother? I want to be mindful.
Yeah, sure. No. Yeah, sure. Go right ahead. Go all the time in the world.
Okay, brother.
Info.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was want to ask Chris Bass this. Because I know, Chris, that you was talking about the gangs and its gang structure, like the Vice Lords, like the Gangster Disciple. But I know their leadership is in prison.
Yes.
And then once the leadership is in prison, that's when the gangs all do their own thing. What can you tell the young people today? You know, even though the gang leadership is in prison, and then they do an individual, what can you tell the young people? How can they basically just, stop the violence and just basically teach other kids not to follow their footsteps?
Back in the day, the gangs that I knew coming up in the 70s and 80s, I grew up with these guys. We were all riding big wheels and, eating now and laters together and stuff like that as children, as kids, and some of them went into gangs. Mm-hmm. Case in point, in the summertime, if we're all sitting on or standing on a sidewalk and a lady comes by with her child, we would take off our baseball caps and pave the way for that mother and child to walk past, or somebody elderly, or anybody. There was a quote-unquote honor among thieves. You had your right to do what you want to do, but there was respect in the community and neighborhood when it came to people there. Now, once again, it's a twofold situation because these same people they probably let through the sidewalk, they'll go rob their house later. I'm just being real. So it varied from time to time. But you get my drift. There was a line of respect that was there. So we fast forward to where we are now. The advice would probably be, be smart. Now, we're all grown here. People can make up their minds when they want to join. You know what you're getting into. You knew the job wasn't easy when you took it, when you joined a gang.
Right.
It's not all glorious. It's not all fabulous. You're going to end up either in prison or in the box, as Information Man said earlier in our conversation. It varies. You take a pick which one you want. Are you going to, be in prison and take it up the gas or take a dirt nap? Now, which one do you want? So it's entirely up to you. But everybody has free will. They all have in common. We all have free will. If you're going to play this game, make sure you know how to play it. Don't just get into it for the sake of not only money, because money is a driving factor, of course, but a lot of people join gangs because they have no family. They have no friends. They want to belong to something. And that's part of just the human condition to be a part of something, too. The advice also, I think, would be not to go in there and be like, Johnny Six Gun or a hothead and shoot it to be shooting. There is a certain way to do things, like the Black Peace Stone Nation, all these different gangs. They were there, but the escalation of the next generation was altogether different. I'm not saying they didn't have their party, because they did, because they were the one that going out doing the drive-by shootings and stuff like that. But these new type of Thundercats, you can't even talk to them. You can't even talk to them because, once again, the older cats, they're now in prison, they can't reach them. They literally cannot reach them because they don't want to listen.
Well,
right.
They don't want to listen at all.
That's one of the problems that I think, and I'm generalizing here, that I have experienced when I encounter, and I know we don't want to put people in boxes, but I'm just saying it for the fact of the semantics of it all. When you look at the millennial generation, they don't really know history very well. That's one of the things that was drilled into me coming up. The people that came from my generation is that we learned history, and we had griots, oral tradition passed down to us. Somehow, I think we have dropped the ball, those of us of age, in translating this history to in this generation. Or maybe it's because they don't want to listen. But wait a minute, every generation at some point in time did not want to listen to older people, what they deem as older people.
Exactly.
Let me, before we go on with this portion of the program, we must go into the chat room and get people's opinions and what they're saying in their lines. And so if you don't mind blessing us what folks are saying in the chat room as it relates to the topic, brother.
Okay. I'm just reading a lot of stuff in the chat room. Okay, exposing fake pro-black says that's true. A lot of Crips and Bloods our own, the Black Power stuff here in LA was we are Black first. I promote peace between our people here in California and for us to stick together as a race. Okay. The real Aaron Collins says I used to have a big wheel and eat now later. Okay. I'm gonna try to go scroll down a little bit. Let's see here. There's a lot of comments, people going fast. Okay, the real Aaron Collins says in '96, the FBI did a crackdown on a bunch of Chicago police officers on the transit detail, many of them Black that were still members of the Gangster Society.
Yeah, a lot of these practices, real quick, unfortunately, still going on. It's not privy to the public, mind you. You have corruption everywhere, and that's a fact. But we have to be smarter than that. We just have to hang on to the ones who are not a part of that type of ilk, who are trying to uplift and better ourselves, and just be around that. Because if we continue to just give ourselves free passes, we're going to stay in one place. We cannot progress that way.
Okay.
Okay, now I remember. Okay, sorry, Chris, but I remember when the GDs, the Gangster Disciples, who was the founder, Larry Hoover. It was basically the structured gang itself.
Yes.
When Larry Hoover was in prison, the GDs went their own separate ways. They had their own cliques, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what do you think about what the GDs used to be and what the GDs doing right now? How they're structuring right now?
Well, I can only tell you from my experiences with the GDs and the Gangster Disciples and the Black Peace Donations. Those were the main rival gangs. You throw in the Latin Kings for good measure, but the main two when I was coming up was the Black Peace Donation and the Gangster Disciples, GDs. And so pretty much when I was coming up, it was about recruitment. And recruitment was just, I'll give you a perfect example. I was playing basketball years ago on the South Side at a ballpark, and all of a sudden there's 5 cars who pulled up, and it looked like 80 Negro men deep coming out of each car, chasing us. That's what it looked like. I'm telling you, being 13 years old, man, you have to get the hot foot and start running. So they grabbed a lot of us and beat us into the gangs. I say us as collective people. I got away, and even if I was in a gang, my dad would kick my ass. He would kick my ass and then go to the gang member and they kick their ass too. So it's just a matter of what kind of household you had. I didn't fear the gangs. I feared my father. And for me, growing up in that era, it was mostly about recruitment. So that was the main thing. Now, as far as the other side was concerned about thefts and people getting shot, but that unfortunately went on the territory. But and then as you're right, the whole thing about Larry Hoover and the I guess the new brand of that type of gang, Gangster Disciples, they didn't want to hear anything from Hoover. And this is Hoover, mind you. This is a guy like one of the godfathers of the gangs itself. But what can I say? They didn't want to know part of it. And once I go back to my original point, they just didn't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. These young Thundercats out here, man, a whole different plantation, whole different mentality.
Wow. It's not going to be fruitful. Somebody in the chat room made a statement earlier saying that he feels that Chicago is going to be one of the first cities that will be brought under a state of emergency, or like under martial law. Let me say that better. Under martial law, according to this brother. You heard Donald, I call him Donald Trump. You heard Donald Trump say something along those lines. And this is the thing that kills me. Remember, what was it? Remember a year ago, or two, there was a biker gang in Waco, Texas. They were at some breakfast place, and then they got into a shootout with another white biker gang. And you never heard the media call it black on black crime. But we know that white folks do kill each other. Matter of fact, they will. They will kill their family. They will do all sorts of heinous acts. And I know from working in the prison system here in California, I work as in the Department of Psychology, guys who have mental health in prison. The majority of black guys and black men, let me say black men in prison in California. I've seen the statistics, and I've been in the system for 16 years, going on 17. The majority of black men in the prison system in California are not in prison because they shot someone. That goes contrary to the statistics of black on black crime in terms of black people murdering each other. Okay? Matter of fact, quite a bit of them are in prison because of what? Drug sales, possession of drugs, getting ready to sell drugs to an undercover agent, all these different things. And then they get their parole, as they scound their parole, or they maybe be high on drugs and they go back to prison. That is what I'm seeing across my table when I'm looking at central files, when I'm looking at documents. Now, I'm gonna tell you something, brother. And I'm not bragging, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. I hear people on YouTube talking about white supremacy and white hate groups and how we got to deal with it. Brother, I deal with these groups every day in my job capacity. I'm dealing with somebody that's a white supremacist. I'm dealing with skinheads. I'm dealing with the what you call it, the Aryan Brotherhood. I have dealt with these individuals. I've seen them in their face. I have talked to them. I have dealt with them straight up. And I'm gonna tell you right, when they are incarcerated and they're behind bars, and they're now dependent on this black man here to negotiate themselves in the system, they are as humble as mama's pie. Okay, that white supremacy goes out the door now because now they're dependent on this Negro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. They must say to me. Okay. I'm not saying to be braggadocious. I'm just saying that I have actually talked and dealt with these kind of folks when it comes to the Mexican mafia. What's going on in Los Angeles, California? I did a video about that, how they're killing black folks in the housing projects in certain areas of Los Angeles because the Mexican mafia has put a green light on black people in Southern California because they want it back. They believe that Southern Cal belongs to Mexico. They want the drug. They want it because they were of the drug trade. And I have dealt with individuals in those groups, in those gangs. When it comes to black gangs, you got the Bloods and the Crips, and you got the Black Guerrilla family. Guess what? I have dealt and talked to these brothers that are in these gang structures, and they have told me why they do what they do and what it's all about. Do you know? I don't know how people know this. Do you know that when I've worked there over the years, particularly the Crips, they're on the tier and they're talking. You know what they use? They're not these brothers are not stupid, man. Do you know what language they speak in as secret code so that certain folks can't understand what they're saying? They speak Swahili. I heard Crips in prison speaking Swahili. And folks are like, what are they saying? And they're able to send messages to each other through speaking Swahili and using other coded language that's related to their game. So just because someone is in a gang, whether it be Crip, Bloods, or otherwise, it don't necessarily mean that these brothers haven't educated themselves on certain things. They're using high code. You know in prison, and I've seen this firsthand. And when they want to send secret messages to each other, they use they put codes in their writing to the point that the correctional officers have to sometimes send this stuff to the FBI. Sometimes the CIA to get people that are code writers to figure out what kind of message they're trying to send. What I'm trying to say is that we as a people are powerful. And even when we're in a gang structure or not, we are powerful. If we could just turn that knowledge and that power that we have into something positive and get it away from destruction, we are unbeatable in this damn society. Because even gang members who probably have no more than a 6th grade education are able to figure out how to use codes that the FBI and CIA got to break and figure out because the correctional officers can't figure it out. They can't figure out what are they writing in here, send a message to this prison, to that prison, all over the state of California. I have seen it because I had the documents in my hand. There's so many damn things I could bring up that I haven't even brought up, folks. I'm just getting warmed up.
Well, intelligence is intelligence across the board. I mean, let's go back to Malcolm X, the autobiography of Malcolm X, and the movie, starring the great Denzel Washington. So West Indian Archie was the guy that he used to run with. You know, that was his leader at one point in the streets, you know, running numbers and stuff like that. And he made it clear in the book and in the movie that West Indian Archie was a mathematical genius.
Right.
What would have happened if he wasn't in the street and in a system where he could use that type of talent?
Yes.
Say in the corporate world, accounting and things like that. Dude would have, you know, taken over completely. So despite the fact of where your place is and, you know, your surrounding of people and your lack of getting into a business position or getting a job, you're still highly intelligent. It's a matter of how you function with said intelligence.
Yes, yes. I'm telling you right now, just from my experience, there are a lot of intelligent brothers in the penal system. And what I do, just to let you know, I know people are going to say, well, you in the industrial complex system, brother. Yes, I am, but this is what I do. I have groups with these brothers. I try to encourage them on what they need to do to survive and not come back to prison, those who have a parole debt. Then there are brothers who have no parole, who I encourage to work with the younger brothers to help them to adjust to their environment being in prison. I try to tell brothers, why are you fighting each other? He's a blood, you're a Crip. Why are you fighting each other? Why are you fighting each other when you have a bigger enemy? Look at you, you're in prison where they're charging you up the yin-yang when you make a call to your family. Oh yes, the prison industry is a mother you know what. Okay, they're being overcharged for their phone calls. They're being overcharged for their canteen that they purchased, right? They're being given they're being shuffled all around in the system. And I'm telling them, why you fighting each other and having this, once again, this tribalism, which is going to be the death of us, in my opinion, while you're doing this, you're making your enemy stronger. And then I'm saying to brothers, why are you doing what they want you doing? You got a parole date. You're gonna be in prison longer because you want to attack that correctional officer. I'm saying, brother, it's not worth it. I had a brother one time tell me, and he was we have these things called holding cells. They used to call them cages. Despicable word. I had a brother one time to say, you know what, I could have been at home right now. I said, well, why are you not at home? He said, well, I got into an argument with a correctional officer, and I wanted to go outside, but he told me I couldn't go outside because I'm on these medications. But I wanted to go out anyway. And he said, I made a bad decision because I would be at home right now eating turkey and dressing and collard greens with my family. I said, see, there's two kinds of people. There's two kinds of people. There are people that react, there's people that respond. If you are a reactor, your reaction can get you in a whole lot of trouble. It's not worth it. A responder is someone who takes the time and they focus and they think about their strategy, how they're going to deal with a situation. They're going to say, is it worth it if I do this? This is what happens. Right? They analyze the situation. Now, let me tell you something. I had a chance to work with a white boy who was a co-founder of the Aryan Brotherhood. And let me tell you something. The guys who co-founded these gangs, they don't have gang tattoos. They don't have this big gruesome look. This white boy nothing was gruesome about him. But you know what was made him powerful? It was his mind. He used to tell me all the time, I'm not concerned about making any noise. I'm not going to bang my cell door. I'm not going to flood my cell. I'm not going to smear feces on the door. Yes, they do smear feces in there. I'm not going to do anything. He says, I'm going to use my mind. I'm going to do some write-ups. I'm going to send this write-up over here. I'm going to do that because I'm a high-profile inmate. And guess what? He was able to do more damage with his mind than ever his fist. These are the kind of guys who usually control the gang structures. And most of them are in Pelican Bay prison in California. These are the sort of things that I have run across. And what I'm saying to you, everyone out there, Brother Basin, Brother Lions Den, is that there are intelligent brothers in prison. They just made bad choices in life.
Right.
All of us on this panel could be in prison today. You, Brother Basin, you, Brother Lions Den, and myself, and we made bad choices. We could be behind a prison bar right now, banging the door saying, when is my food coming? I need that phone call. I'm going to smear feces. I'm going to assault someone if I don't get what I want. We could be talking like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lions, read a few things in the chat room before we move on to other parts of the program tonight, other areas.
Okay. Okay, the Handy Fanwit says cold talk came out of slavery. So when Jim Crow started, blacks continued in the prisons.
Wow.
Sonia C says soon we won't be able to physically visit our relatives in prison. It will be Skype only. Brother Danubian says we are hard headed. We have good leaders and we're visiting by God in person, and we rejected what He told us to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to get back to what you said earlier, Brother Basin. You said that we should stop focusing on these politicians, these black leaders, and focus on what we should do when we look at our black selves in the mirror every day. I 100% agree with that. And now I have a challenging question for you, brother. The Black Caucus. I'm saying it right.
Yes.
What the hell have they done for us in the damn last decade or two? What the hell are they doing?
They are tools to recruit other blacks into the Democratic Party. That's what they've done. I have to give credit to Representative Maxine Waters. I think she is phenomenal, fantastic. I like her pushback with the president, but she's only one person. And, you know, with other people, you need a team of people. And sometimes you can make change from within, and sometimes you can't. And that structured power has been there since the beginning of time itself. That's a hard road to hoe to change within the government system. And the Black Caucus, I think, don't get me wrong. I mean, I give credit when credit is due to a degree, but at the same time, it could be just another form of window dressing to once again continue to lull us to sleep and look at the big picture. For example, when Barack Obama was elected president, I did not expect him to save the black race. A lot of black people were saying he didn't do anything for black folk. I didn't expect him to.
Okay.
There's nothing against the he was first. He is first and foremost a what, boys and girls? A politician.
That's right.
So you gotta look at that. So this is not anything that nobody knows. He is a politician like anybody else. He has to pander to his constituency. Now you look at politician and get the definition. They get back with me. And the 2 terms that was in there, I expected to take care of me or other black folk. It's like, well, other presidents do it. Okay, that's them. But do you know the backlash, or dare I say blacklash, if he came forward and said, I'm doing this for African Americans in this country? Oh, come on now. I mean, a whole different ball game. He had to do what he had to do. And once again, what I mean by that is not only for the fact of America, but for all people in this country.
Yes.
So you have to cater to what you know, because if you stray away from the plan, something just might happen. Things can happen, things can change. And he played it right. But once again, I did not expect him to do anything for me. I was very proud. Historical moment, number 44 in office. Nothing wrong with that. But once again, it goes back to us looking within ourselves to take care of us. We may find inspiration from anywhere. It could be not just the president, but family members, friends, and be inspired to continue on to look after ourselves and be more us than them. We don't want to be them. But a lot of times we fall in that category because, okay, systematically, we want to be like white people, and we can't and never will.
Absolutely.
I hear. Wow. Since you've been working in radio, brother, where does black radio play a role? Because one of the situations that really bothered me is on this election, Hillary Clinton seemed to evade black radio, and then she would. Then when it met her better interests, then at the last minute she wanted to run the black radio. And she went on the Breakfast Club, and I was a little disappointed because on there they talk about some damn hot sauce and having a jig dance with her. Then you had Roland Martin, who got up there and started buck dancing with her on his show or some program he was on. And I've been very disappointed in some of our, what we would call our mainstream black media, which I call, brother, I don't know how you feel about this. I think that old black media is dead. What do I mean by that? Roland Martin's got rolled off of TV One. I think old black media, traditional black media as we know it, the Ebony, the Get Magazine, the Essence, I think think to a certain degree they're out of touch with us. And in a lot of cases, these organizations are owned by white investors. I think they're really out of touch. I really believe when that whole Ferguson thing hit the ground, I was shocked that someone like Roland Martin, who has all that infrastructure at TV1, or what I think is infrastructure, because we never really know what's going on. I was shocked that you really didn't have a lot of black media on the ground in Ferguson reporting. We always seem to get these reports from CNN, which is usually a twisted report, you see, based in lies, twisted to make the lies for food. Okay. What's the role? What do you think, brother?
Well, you know, it's sad because United, I think a lot of us who are journalists and broadcasters and talk show hosts who happen to be black, and I wear it well, I'm a talk show host, I happen to be black, I'm a black talk show host, I'm all the above. And having said that, it goes back to being individualized at this point. And some of us, you know, would come together for the greater good or come together to alliances and try to do our best. But because there's so few and far in between, that we don't have a platform. It goes back to what I said earlier in the conversation about controlling our own images and having our own thing, but we don't anymore. And it's just that could serve us well in situations like a Ferguson or Charlottesville, you know, that type of situation. It would have been nice to have those outlets, but unfortunately we don't have them. So what we need to do, once again, is be individualized and find someone like a Lee Michaels or an Andre Eglishon who fills in for, you know, Reverend Al Sharpton and things like that, or anybody else. You have to kind of like cherry pick and find these people when they do that type of reporting and broadcasting. It would be nice to have one home. I don't take anything away from Syndication One, but it could be a stronger lineup. Because as far as I know, it's just Reverend Al. That's about it.
Okay. Let me just say something. This is very unfortunate. Let me take a pause in the show for just a minute. Let me hit my sound effect. And here it is. Black people in the chat room, we've got to stop fighting and bickering with each other. Got another situation. Please don't bicker with each other. I'm asking you out of respect for the broadcast, what we're doing, don't bicker with each other. If we can't get along, I think Neely Fuller Jr. says if you don't have anything constructive to say to each other, black folks should stay the hell away from each other. If that's what's happening, please, whatever vibe is going on in the chat room, we're having very important discussion. I would hope that people would be listening to what we're talking about, commenting on what's happening as it relates to us as black people. The last thing we need to be doing is bickering with each other. I know the radical sister. I'm sorry if something was said to you that was disrespectful to you, brother, sister. I don't condone it. I want to let everybody know I don't condone nonsense like that. I'm in here doing a program and I can't keep up with everything in the chat room. Work together. Damn it. If we can't work together in a damn chat room, then we can't build anything outside these chat rooms. We can't build anything, period. So what are we doing here if we can't get along with each other? We don't need any drama. Let's focus on the content right now. And all the other petty stuff, let's leave it alone. I'm just simply saying that because it really bothers me when we're sitting up here having a discussion about the very damn thing that's holding us back. And then we got some people in the chat room maybe bickering with each other. So anybody who was disrespected in the chat room, I want to give you an apology. I'm not going to say sorry because I'm not a sorry black man, as True Royal Family would say. Don't say sorry. But what I'm going to say is, let's stop it and be adults. To you, True Radical sister, we're supposed to be doing a live stream pretty soon together. I'm going to be contacting you about that. I apologize if anybody said anything that was disrespectful to you. Those who were putting out the disrespect, I'm not going to say names. I don't believe in trying to call somebody out like this, like we in the streets. I'm just going to say whoever is making statements that are not positive towards each other, please cut it out. Okay? This brother Basin is spending his time on his Saturday. He could be doing anything else relaxing. Okay? With his family. Those of you, just give respect to our guests. And Brother Basin, nobody's disrespecting you at all. It's just that we got a little conversation going on in the chat room. And I'm just trying to say, please respect each other. That's all I'm saying. I don't want drama. I don't want a drama where people have to go and make videos and talk about what happened in the chat room and talk about I was in this chat room and this is what happened. I don't want to see a video like that. I don't want to see us against each other. We got to come together. That's all I'm asking. If you don't have anything positive to say to each other, don't say anything at all. Leave the chat room or if you have to. Don't say anything. This is why we can't get any damn where. And while we're arguing with each other on here, the white boys are laughing at us. The white folks are laughing at us and saying, look at these Negroes. They can't even work together on damn YouTube or any platform they're on. Let's make the money. So once again, this is my alert to you. So stop it. And now with that said, let me have a nice sip of my water. Back to the show with Brother Chris Basin from Chicago, Illinois. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, that was a good PSA you had there. Good old public service announcement in the chat room. Good for you, man. I guess well, one of the points I want to bring up too is the fact that when we as Black folk are together and there's no hubbugging and there's no jive and nothing like that, we are a beautiful race of people. And we are. We're very powerful, very strong, and we need to concentrate on that. Now, I think today, in today's times, more so than ever before in the history of our people, we're living in strange days with the president being who he is in office, with going on giving wink, wink, nudge, nudges to white supremacy groups and the KKK and the skinheads and everybody else that's anti-us. We need to be pro-us. And the more we're pro-us, the more we can work on what we need to work on. And nobody's perfect. Nobody's walking on water. All I'm saying is let's embrace what makes us great.
Okay.
You talk about making America great again. Let's make us great again. How about that?
Yeah, you know what? That would be great on a T-shirt, a hat. Let's that sounds great, brother. Let me ask you this question now.
Sure.
We got into the negative stuff, the gangs, the shooting. Let's get into some positive stuff about Chicago. Are there any programs, or are there programs in Chicago that have been beneficial to Black people in helping us reach a successful journey?
Well, that you have to go on, obviously online and find individual programs. For me, I like the fact that you have great mentorships. We're seeing a boom of mentorship programs on both sides of town, whether the South Side and West Side, where especially young Black men who don't have a father figure in the household, who don't know how to, for example, tie a necktie, and something as basic as that we all took for granted when we were coming up. A lot of people don't know about it, and also the fact that there's a world outside of the 4-block radius of where you live. If you're able to get outside of that and to go to other neighborhoods, or for example, here in Chicago, go downtown, we have a wonderful city. The lakefront was where I live at near. I live in Brownsville. It's a historical Black neighborhood here in Chicago. Sammy Davis Jr., all the celebrities of the day would come by here and not only perform, but would live for the time of their stint. Now, people forget, and probably may also know this, that you couldn't stay in white hotels back in the day. You had to go to on a chiller circuit and go to the Black neighborhoods and stay and have rent in various hotels. And some people that you probably knew would probably put you up in their homes because they live on the South Side or the Black side of town. And that was always good. So Bronzeville has been an independent neighborhood full of nice Black and brown people for all these years. That's where I resided. The lakefront is great. There's always something positive somewhere. You just have to look outside and find it. And being a lifelong Chicagoan, I look at both sides, the both positive and the negative. And what brings me forward all the time is the fact that I can go outside and meet people, have a conversation when I do. I still like to see the young bucks on the basketball court. I can't get down the court like I used to. I take 2 steps and get tired these days because I'm old. But to see the young bucks still play basketball and ingratiate themselves in the game or play tennis and things of that nature, yeah, it's always a good positive place to go to. You just got to know where to go.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Chicago Chi-Town. So
Yes, sir.
let everybody know. We're gonna get into where they can find you. I'm gonna put another link in the chat room where people can find you. But so right now, what are you involved in? Now you're involved with Lee Michaels. Lee Michaels, as you said it earlier, unfortunately had some help. Had a situation where he was in an accident.
Mm-hmm.
You basically have stepped into the power of Voices broadcast.
Correct. Yeah, so on the Facebook Live side, I fill in for Lee Michaels, and you catch that Tuesdays through Thursdays here on Facebook Live. You catch me on Facebook Live page, and that'll be 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Central, and 10 a.m. on the West Coast when you catch me on Facebook Live.
Okay.
Filling in for Lee Michaels.
Okay, I'm gonna put in your information. Have you ever thought about whether maybe I think you do have one. You do have a YouTube channel, don't you?
No, I don't. I thought about that. In fact, it's funny you mentioned that. A couple of days ago, a friend of mine also been broadcasting mentioned about starting a YouTube channel. So because she mentioned it and because you mentioned it, see, now I gotta do it. So I'm hard headed. So I gotta get past that and make that happen. So thanks to the ring endorsement from you and my good friend Lisa, I have to make that happen and start a YouTube channel. So
Yeah,
thank you for not on this hard hit of mine. I gotta start doing that.
you can stream everything that you're doing, brother, on your YouTube.
Yes.
And I think with the talent that you have, that you possess and have been possessing, brother, you would definitely build up your YouTube channel very strong. And I will be the first to ring the endorsement for you and give you some tricks that I know that will help improve the channel and will grow the channel in a very good time because you have a lot to offer. And I think you should go ahead and do it, brother.
I will.
Brother, you better check YouTube because somebody must be using your avatar or something because I could have swore I saw a YouTube page with your avatar on it.
You know what? I'll go back and check. I mean, if I did it, I probably did it and forgot about it, obviously. If somebody trying to steal my likeness, and I don't know why they would do something like that, but
what it is that it looks like a channel. It looks like it's your channel. Got the same similar picture to what you have on the Facebook. And it looks like a channel that a person has that doesn't have their own content on it, but like you can save other people's content to the channel. So I thought it was your
Okay, you know what? You're probably right. I do have a channel there, but I do that for leisure, listen to type of music or something like that. But yeah, so that's probably me. Hopefully nobody didn't steal me, but it should be me. But yeah, I hope not either. I feel sorry for them. But it's I gotta look into that. And like I said, you're the second person that's told me about YouTube and the benefits from it. So like I said before, now I gotta do the damn thing, as they say.
Yeah, and I think if that is your YouTube channel, you can actually start uploading if you want to content, or you can create another. I have another channel. Just as important in the YouTube game is to make multiple channels as backup to others. But if you do that, brother, let me know so that I can give you some of the trade secrets that will bring traffic to your channel. And I'll be giving shout outs and sharing what you're doing with the good folks here. I think it's very important. We got to support each other. That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about.
I'm the same way. Thank you. I will be in touch about that.
Oh, definitely, brother. Lion's Den, I've been running my mouth. Do you have any questions you want to ask, brother, based on anything you're curious about? Anything, brother.
Yeah, Chris. One question I would like to ask: what do you see yourself as a talk show host, or will you ever be a producer or a associate producer to a program if necessary?
I would like to see myself. I'm probably will try to get into talk TV. And so I'm weighing my options about that. You know, I've been approached over the years and just didn't feel right, or the situation wasn't beneficial. But I always want to do talk TV, take what I do now and go on TV. What I'm doing with the Facebook Live, or I call Base Live, kind of prepares me for that eventually. But actually doing it in 3D, actually being in a studio with, seasoned professionals, and like to do that in the future. As far as producing, it has to be the right situation, the right people. I don't want to waste my time with people who are not committed to what we're trying to accomplish. And if I see some talent out there who I think can, take the ball and run with it and pass the baton on to and help others, I would do so. That's a good question. I would like to do that in the future to help produce other talk shows to keep it going. Because, the one thing that I've learned is that I'm very passionate about people who love what I do, being a talk personality and talk radio and talk everything involved. So if they have a similar passion that I have, I would like to work with them and help them get their come-ups, and hopefully, be in the game for a while and keep passing it on.
Okay.
Wow. This is what I'm gonna do with the time that you have, brother. I'm gonna put a if anybody would like to, now this is where it's gonna get really gritty, brother. If anybody in the chat room would like to come on the panel and ask Brother Basin any questions, or any question or anything that's curious to mind, let's go ahead and I'm gonna put a link in the chat room so that we can make that possible.
All right.
Give me just a minute. We're very interactive here, Brother Basin.
Oh, I noticed. That's good stuff right there. That's where I live and breathe at.
And this is why I think what you do, what you're doing on Facebook, will translate to this. And I see you, brother. I can imagine you starting off and your channel growing. I can see you having thousands of subscribers. I can see you doing live streams, brother, broadcasting live. I can see you. I can just see you doing a lot of incredible things.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you. I can't pay you no more. I'm broke with the compliments, dude. I can't do it no more.
Well, these are the things that I haven't always been able to tell you, brother.
That's
is the
true.
first time I've actually had you on here in this capacity, and believe me, we're gonna have you back. And I believe when I say that I want to make you a fixture when there's issues that are going on in society. I want to say, let me bring in Brother Basin and get his opinions on how he sees it. I think the more voices that we have, the more opinions that we have about issues, the better we're going to be off. So there'll be time to time, brother, when I have panels, brothers and sisters talking about various issues. Okay. And now that I have you connected to my system, I'm going to be able to invite you in, given when you have time outside of your other commitments.
Absolutely.
So
I'm already there. Thank you.
Yes. So, Real Eric Collins, if you want to come in, Royal, for anybody who wants to come in and ask brother any questions, or if you want to add anything that we haven't brought up. There's something else I wanted to ask you, brother. It's about Black radio.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see the future of what we're doing right now in terms of creating your own content and creating your own program? Because there's so many platforms out there where one can create their own internet radio shows. And there are more people on the internet that are listening to regular terrestrial radio. That's just a fact. Since I've gotten into this YouTube and I've been listening to people on this platform and other platforms that I get involved in, do you know that I hardly ever watch television now? Do you know that I'm in a situation where I got Comcast cable, unfortunately, which I'm about to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. I got a what do you call that? I got a DVR, and I made a pre-record program. I'm a dilemma. I'm finding myself deleting stuff because I'm running out of space. Because I realized to myself, damn it, I haven't watched it. I find myself forcing myself to watch programs now because I'm so focused on YouTube, because there's so many dynamic people on YouTube, brother. I want you to check out True Royal Family. Her channel is called True Royal Family.
Okay.
There's Nicole Ali, who's in the chat room right now. Sister, if you want to come on in, I'll put that link in there. Come on in and talk to us. There's so many dynamic black people that are talking real talk that I'm learning from. To the point that I'm like, TV is becoming very obsolete for me now. It's like, I don't even think about it anymore. I say to myself, oh, I missed that program. So what? I don't care. So this world of YouTube is a raw world. People will speak their mind. They won't cut their lip. So the folks that are in that chat room, boy, they will put it where the goats can get it. 100%. So
I ain't mad at them.
You're not in there. Oh, good. I'm glad you're not mad at them because they don't stop no punches, brother. They will tell to you like it is. Hey, anybody in the chat room, come on into the platform and say what's up to my man Chris Basin and myself and Lions Den. Say a few words if you like. If you have any questions before we put a crescendo on this program, come on in. Everybody knows that we always have a Q&A session before we end anything.
I'm sorry. I just got a word. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lions Den. Real quick. I just got the high sign. I gotta take off. But let me listen to Lions Den, and then I'll give you my answer to you about Black Radio.
Okay.
Yeah, but go ahead. Please continue, Lions Den. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I want to say, Chris, that you basically is the only one I know that interviewed me, and I never forget it. I remember you interviewed me in your show.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to hear my interview. Unfortunately, what happened was that we had a storm here in the DC area.
Right.
Call it the torrential wind tone that knocked the entire call it the torrential wind tone.
Mute your sound if you're coming on, please.
Oh, so but I never get a chance to listen to my interview. But still, at the end of the day, you were the only one that interviewed me. And I appreciate everything you've done, Chris.
Oh, man. Well, thank you. No, it was more than my honor. Like I said, we're going back to our time, all of us back at ustalknetwork.com and seeing how you guys comport yourselves. And so, yeah, it was no brainer, man. I saw what you was doing. And like I said before, I mean, I'm now the ilk of not trying to support my own. I support my people. I support people who especially have the same passion as me for radio and talk radio. I gotta help you. Just that simple. That's it. That's all. So no, it was more than my honor to interview you.
Wow. What year was that, Lions Den? That's amazing.
It was, I think it was like in 2000, I believe 2014.
Something like that. Yeah, you're right.
2014,
Don't ask me. I'm an old man. I forget what yesterday was, but yeah.
Wow. Once again, it looked like somebody was trying to come on board, but then they left. Kind of weird.
Yeah. Info. It was a Starte Jones was trying to come in, but she said she complained she hear a lot of echo. That's why she had to leave.
Starte Jones, all you have to do is mute yourself. We got Lisa. Lisa's in the chat room. Sister, if you want to come in, if you had a chance to listen to what we're talking about, Black Radio. We have a brother here by the name of Chris Basin. He's done work at WVON in Chicago. He's from Chicago. He's been involved in radio for many years. We know him from our days work U.S. News Network with Lee Michaels. He's been filling in right now for Brother Lee Michaels on the let's see, the brother is on the Power of the Voice. You can find that on Facebook as well. He broadcasts there, and he's been doing radio for years. He worked in the urban broadcast media. Like I said, WVON. He was a co-host. He was a host and producer of WLS-AM Radio 890. He's a student of radio communications with a degree from Columbia in Chicago. So if you have anything you want to we were talking about the future of Black radio. Where is it going? We're talking about internet radio, because I think that's the way. Brother Basin, can you take us down that journey of where Black radio is going as it relates to the internet?
Black radio is internet radio at this point. The two have already been merging. So that's where the future is. As you said before, the future is now. And it would be nice to have more places where you had a standard station where you had African-American talk show hosts at. And that's still not the room out of possibility, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it. But I think that now, once again, because we're all over the place, say, for example, Lee Michaels was to build some more on the powervoices.com and came to recruit you and and Thomas, and you guys and everything else, and started to get other talents to bring them up into the fold. And through the guidance of Lee Michaels, you're going to do well. You're going to be successful. You keep your your ears open and your mind open and listen to the master, and everything will be just fine. So it would be nice again to see that escalate, but time will tell. But because again of the internet being where it is and being at individual pockets, the future of Black talk radio is the internet, and that's where we are right now.
There we go. I had to mute her for right now. Sister Jones, I'm going to bring you in just a moment. You have to mute whatever. We can't hear you, sister. It's like a muffle sound. Okay, I'm hearing you now. I'm hearing this feedback. I'm checking my mix board right now. I hear a weird scratchy type sound. Checking my mix board right now. It's not a good sound system. So the sound's not coming through very well. I don't know if she has a device on that she needs to mute, and that's why it's. I don't know if she's got like another device on that's causing the sound, or is it possibly could be her phone connection or her computer. But I really would like to have her say her words, and that's not going to be possible right now. I think she's having some technical difficulties. I hope that those difficulties can be worked out one way or another. Anyway, Lionsden, can you read in the chat room what folks are saying right now before we put it on this evening?
Oh yeah. Some people talking about the Superfly movie. One that says yes, new Superfly is garbage. Let me see here. Okay, there. Everybody talk about the new Superfly movie. Let's see. Oh yeah, Asari Jones is responding. She said that I'm on my computer. I don't know how to do it.
You know what she could do? Tell her that she could possibly come in through. She could probably come in through her phone instead of her computer. She can talk to us right through her phone, and her avatar will show up right on the panel. So let me see. If she has my email, just email me, and then I will send it to you. Or we'll have to try to figure out what the problems are. But once again, like I said, YouTube is always messing with us, trying to stop us. I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I'm telling you, Brother Basin, we have been witness to some strange stuff on here.
Oh yeah.
And I've been on other people's channels, and I've seen the same thing happen. And I know why.
Like I said before, like I said before, if you're doing something like that, then you must be doing something right to somebody else. But look, I have to take off. But first of all, before I get out of here, thank you so much to the both of you, Information Man, Lions Den, for allowing me to come into your circle and be a part of your family. Thank you so much. It once again means a tremendous amount of support and love to me, because I love you guys more. And to see you guys to come from where we were back in the day in 2008 to 10 years forward, I am more than proud of you. and continue the great work that both of you are doing.
Brother, thank you. I got to give you a clap. And brother, I want to thank you for being here. This was fantastic. We have to do this again. As I said, I want to bring you in as a fixture from time to time to talk about issues. I thank you. Myers, any last words you have for Brother Bass?
Yeah, Mr. Bass.
Yeah, Mr.
You know what? And then I'm gonna show you my compliment real quick. You the reason why Info and I have a platform right now. You, Andre Eglishon, I'm dead serious. You, Andre Eglishon, Kaz Carson, Lee Michaels, you were the guys we always look up to. I appreciate what you've done for us, as and not only as a colleague, but also as a talk show host, to a talk show host as well.
Oh man, like I said before, thank you so much. I'm glad that you guys are doing the thing and us being inspirations to you guys. I can speak for the guys on this. Hey, continue to make it do what it do and do it in 3D. And it's more than my honor to be a part of whatever you guys are doing and keep the future bright. Because we need each other. We all need each other. We can't take this stuff with us, man. We have to impart and learn from each other. So whatever you need me for in the future, like I told you before, I'm already there.
Thank you very much. We're going to continue on Lions Den with a few more words, but Brother Bass, I love you. Thank you for being here, and we'll do it again. Yes, we will.
All right. Absolutely. Love you guys more. Continue to have a great show, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And remember,
take care now.
All right, take care. You too. Peace.
Peace to Brother Basin, Chris Basin. And remember, everybody, this is very important. And remember something else as well. You must always That's right. We got to stop bug dancing, cooning for the cornbread. Lions Den, how you doing, brother? It was great to have Brother Basin on.
Yeah.
Glad to have him talk so honest and candid. I want to thank everybody in the chat room. Let's give some love to folks in the chat room, Lions Den.
Yo, I'd like to get a shout out in the chat room, Brother Danubian, Karen Smith, King Stan, Astari Jones, Afrocentric and Autonomy TV, the Radical Sister, Stop the BS Now, August Dreams, Big L, Cayman, African Defender, Dark Void. Let's go. The Radical Sister, my sister, Sonia Seas, Glamis Baldwin. We're going to continue on. Nikki, Maurice Carlisle. Let's see here. I'll go. Captain, my boy Cap. Of course, the True War family. Sister Nicole. Okay, and we're going to continue going on because I know there's a lot more. See, okay, Destin D's in the building, and I believe that is about it.
Okay.
Ancient Melian too, and that's basically it. Cashmel's G2.
All right, let me let folks know what we have upcoming. Upcoming over the weekend, I am going to possibly get into the Dogon. I'm going to probably do a live stream, which will be some information about the Dogon tribe in Africa. You've heard Brother Keith speak about how they're the closest thing to still practicing the old African spiritual ways. I'm going to get into Dogon. I am going to do a live stream at some point in time. Maybe I'll do it this weekend. Maybe next weekend. I'm going to do talk about melanin and how it actually works in our black body, the science of it. So I'm going to get into that. If not this week, next week. I plan to talk about a couple of organizations that everybody should be aware of. We got the Trilateral Commission. We got the Committee of 300. Very important to understand how these groups operate. Myself and Lions Den, we're going to have a revisit about Obari Henderson. This is the young brother who was killed in Greece. His family is still looking for justice. We're going to do a live stream. If we don't, we either going to do a live stream about it or we'll do a pre-produced video about it. But I know a lot of folks are going to say, well, you know, this Negro went to Greece. He was running around with white folks, you know, kicking it with white girls or whatever. And that's why he got killed. He went to another country. See, this is another thing you got to understand as a black man. When you go to another country with your American swagger, these beasts, these monsters, they don't like you talking to their women. And they got mad. The truth of the matter, they got mad because she took a photo with him. And did not like that. Okay? She wanted a photo with him, and they did not like that. And so those cave beasts beat that kid up to a pulp. Say what you will about him cooning. Say what you will about him lusting after the white side of the meat. Personally, I like my meat dark, but that's another. I like it dark and juicy, but that's another conversation. We're going to probably, you know what? We're going to have a men's program. I think we need to have a men's program with all brothers talking about sex and what turns us on and what we need to do to be better lovers to our women emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Now, has anybody done that one before? We did the one on relationships, but have there been a live stream with all black men talking about sex with our women as it relates to love, intimacy? We're being romantic with our women. I'm not just talking about bump and grind here. I'm talking about how it relates to the spiritual, the physical, okay? The connection with our women on a romantic level. You know, sex doesn't begin when you get into bed. It begins before you even get in bed, folks. It could be you making a dinner with your husband or wife or girlfriend or person, you know, person that you're involved with. And you make love when you're making dinner, you're listening to music, you maybe sip a glass of wine. You're actually making love before you actually physically make love to the woman because you're getting into romanticism, okay? There's nothing wrong with giving a woman a full body massage, okay? Get the oil and the candles ready and get the bedroom ready, turn the lights down, get the right type of music keyed up. There's nothing wrong with looking at your woman in the eyes and telling her how you feel about her. Now, some would say right now, listening to me, information man is a simp. I'm not simping. I'm talking about being romantic. What did I just say? I said with your wife, your girlfriend, a person that you are involved with. I didn't say anything about somebody that you just having a good time with. I'm talking about someone that you committed to being romantic. Is romanticism being gone as we start letting this MGTOW bullshit take us over as men?
Interesting. It's going to be an interesting show.
Yes, it should. You know what? I'm putting out a challenge today. This is what we're going to do, Lions Den. Damn it, I'm putting out a challenge. We're going to do this show tomorrow. So every brother, awesome. Brother Duvian, all you brothers that's been in the chat room that haven't been on a panel, you're going to get out of it. It's time for you to step up and get your asses on the panel. So for brothers on the panel, we're going to get Oyapo. We're going to get Underrated Darkness on the panel. We're going to get, what's my other man? Real Aaron Collins on the panel. Rob, if he's out there on the panel. Cap, we got to get Cap on the panel.
Oh, definitely Cap, yeah.
We're going to get everybody on the panel tomorrow, and we'll probably do it like we're doing now. Maybe we'll do this a little bit earlier in the day so that everybody can see this. And we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about being as black men. What is sex? What does it mean to us in terms of sex? Because my submission is that sex isn't really about the physical act. It's the mental act. Check this out. I'm more turned on when a woman gives me an orgasm in my brain. You can do more potent, black man, when you can make a woman wet between the legs before you even touched her. And how did you do that? You did it through your mind, your intelligence, talking to her, listening, having great conversation, intelligent conversation, building for the future. Do you know that that stimulates a woman's mind? The pineal gland is. I'd rather get a woman wet between the legs because of my intelligence before I even laid finger to her body. And then once you got the mind and you lay finger to the body, brother, let's just say, I know Keith Newsom talks about high vibrations and going to the universe and going to the center of God. When you have the woman's mind and then you have her body and you both have chemistry together in a relationship and you have orgasm, brother, I'm telling you right now, that's going to take me to the third. That's going to take me from the third dimension, brother, to the fifth dimension. Goddamn right.
Aha.
Okay, so the way to get to the fifth dimension is that you got to eat right. You got to sun gaze. One thing he left out. I think another way you can get to that dimension, towards that dimension, is getting the right woman in your life and having such a connection to that woman mentally that when you are physically with her, and as he says, the universe is created by feminine energy and masculine energy. That's the African Ankh coming together as one. And when you woman that you care about, not somebody you're just messing around with, but a woman that you care about, and you come as one. God damn it, you can't tell me that ain't gonna vibrate you to a high level. Okay? So that's the other part that Brother Keith Newsom left out, is that you must have good romantic and sexual relations and good relationship with your woman, the black woman, to vibrate. You're both gonna vibrate together. I believe if he was with me right now, Keith Newsom would say, "You're on to something, information man. Black. I mean, you're on to something." That's the missing ingredient. The vibration between the love between a black man and a black woman, the most powerful thing on this earth. That's the other vibration that has not been talked about. But we're going to talk about that. So to everybody listening, all the brothers out there, Gab Talk Media, all of you, tomorrow, Lowcast, all of you, we're going to get you on Sunday. We're going to talk about the issue of black men as it relates to our being romantic, and our love and our sex for our women, from a spiritual level, emotional level, physical level, God damn it, and now even a metaphysical level. Because if it's good, love it, you surely are going to vibrate. That's what I got to say with that line. Any last word before we end this stream? Any last word?
I would to take the time out to say to the people in the chat room, it's been an honor for me to talk to you guys tonight. And hopefully there's going to be no more drama. Hopefully be more peaceful this time and have unity. And that's what Info and I are all about. We're all about unity. So with that being said, I hope I see you guys again tomorrow as brothers together. So yeah, Info, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, brother. And lying, Lions Den, stay on the air, brother.
All right.
Everybody out there, what's up? Let's call them out again. Woo!
All right. The Radical Sister,
Yeah.
Afrocentric Academy TV, Brother Denubian, African Defender, Sheila Furnace, Glamorous Baldwin, Elder Rashawn.
Oh, Elder Rashawn! Wait, stop the music real quick for my brother. Woo! Elder Rashawn is in the house, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. We got to figure out how to get this man on this platform. You got to give me your phone number, email, or something, brother, so I can contact you. Elder Rashawn, I got to get you on. I got to make history, brother. We got to talk truth to power, brother. I like the way you get up there. You got the dark shades on, the dirty hat, and you say, these goddamn beasts. And I love when he has trolls on his channel, and he says, get your goddamn trolls out of here.
Well, guess what, Info? You're in luck because he said that he would try to do one tonight. Peace and blessings and love.
Oh, he was trying to do one tonight? Wait.
Yeah.
Elder, are you doing a show tonight, or are you saying you're trying to do a live stream with us, brother? What are you trying to do?
Okay, I'm still waiting for what you have to say, yo. Come on.
If he's talking about he's doing a stream, you know I'm going to be there and check it out. But what I'm saying,
yeah,
we got to get you on the platform. I don't think nobody has had the Elder on their platform on a live stream. And I'm trying to make history like Muhammad Ali. I'm the king of the world. We got to get you, Elder. We gotta get you. You can't evade me. I know the Elder don't like trolls on his channel. He'd be like, get your goddamn trolls out of here, right? He'd be like, get them out. Right? But guess what, Elder? I'm a good troll. I'm going to troll your channel, and I'm going to keep asking you over and over again. I need email. I need a way to get in contact with you. I need a goddamn way to get in contact with the Elder.
Info, breaking news. Elder Rashawn said he will do a live stream tonight, 10 p.m. Central Time, which is 11 p.m. Eastern, which is 8 p.m. your time.
So he's doing a live stream tonight.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, I'll be listening to your live stream, brother, but we need to figure out a way for me to get your communication, your way the way I can reach you, brother. Because I want to make history by getting you in the chat panel. Or even if I can pull you in through the phone, I will do that. I gotta do it. And you know what, too, Elder? You need mods on your channel. I've been telling you to mod me up. You need mods. So in there, we got to get them out. What I do is I report them, but we got to get them out for all time's sake. Once again, Elder, I'm going to keep on you. I need communication. I need a way to reach to you so I can get you on this platform. I'm going to be asking you this and asking you this and asking you this. I'm after you, Elder. You can't evade the information, man, Elder. You can't evade me. I love his theme music that he plays in the back. I like how he runs off when he plays a new tune and he runs back. I love it. And I love how he puts it to this system and tells us what we're dealing with. I love it. I love what you do, Elder. I had to stop the music out of respect for you to say those words, but I have respect for everybody in the chat room. Lions Den.
Yes, we do.
What you doing, brother? Man, everybody.
Yes, we do.
Before we end this.
All right. Astari Jones, August Dreams, Kashmir G, The Radical Sister, Assalamu alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my sister. Let's see here. Afrocentric Academy. We got Big L in the building, Sister Lovey K.
Stop it right there. Big L's in the building. Hey, Big L's in the building. Big L, you need to get your black butt on my panel. Brother, you been fighting with us when we had crickets in the chat room. That means nobody. And I've been wanting to get you on the platform. What are you afraid of, Big L. Get your butt on the platform. I put a link in there, and I told you to click into that link and come on, and you haven't done so. What's the excuse? I want to give you respect, Big L, because you've been riding with us heavily. Big L from the speaker.com. He's a part of a big following over there. He's very popular on the speaker.com. Everybody knows him over there, all the black folks. It's a whole nother world over there. And we're broadcasting live right now in the speaker. And what I got to say is, Big L, we need you on the platform, brother. We want to interview you. You got a radio show that you do, I think, on Plug-In. We got to get those links so I can start promoting what you're doing, brother Big L. Stop hiding from me. Now, go on and give some more love to everybody.
Info, breaking news. Elder Rashawn said this. He said, we will do something. We will work it out. Peace, blessing, and love.
Peace, blessing, and love. Yeah. We'll make history. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Look. It's Saturday. I'm having a good time with y'all all. I'm going to be leaving pretty soon because I have a little dinner date with somebody.
Oh, dinner day. Oh, wow.
I'm going out, I'm going out to have, enjoy a little time out with a friend of mine.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy. But
yeah.
I'll come back later on tonight. I'm gonna be checking out everybody's live stream. Who's doing it? Who's doing a late night broadcast? Is it gonna be True Royal Family? Is it gonna be Lisa Cabero?
I heard that Locast doing this live stream right now. Locast.
Where you at, Locast? Hey, let me tell you, everybody in the chat room, I'm feeling you. Feeling everything you've been doing for us. Me and Lion are putting out knowledge, putting up to the nut. But I'm afraid I'm trying to make it to the fifth dimension. Get the hell out of the hell of the third dimension. I'm getting the hell out of here, folks. I'm going to eat, read better, study better, get that glazing, the glazing of the sun, the black sun in my body, in my mind. I need that neuromelanin working my body. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Keith Nuisance is on.
Keith Nuisance on. We're going to end this anyway, Lions. I'm just having a good time right now. It's Saturday. Goddamn, I can't have a good time. Woo!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a Saturday night. Let's live it up for a bit, Hey,
look, man. It's only 6 o'clock where I'm at, but I am gonna have to end it to make my, my dinner or whatever, my drinks. Woo!
Yeah. You don't want to pay for her.
Yeah, brother. Pop. Everybody in the chat room, thank you. You've been support to me and information. Woo! Everybody in the chat room, y'all been holding us down. I want to thank you. We can't do what we do without your support, because I know that you guys are supporting us. You let people know about what we're doing. You're going into your social media and you're putting our stuff in there. And I do the same thing for everybody that does content. I do the same thing for you. This is Information Man in Lions Den.
Thank you for your love and support, baby.
I'm going to bring you knowledge to open up one's mind. Dark matter, consciousness. Dark matter, consciousness. Your ass up. When you wake up, you're black. When you brush your teeth, you're black. When you go outside the door, you're black. When you drive your car, you're black. Pop. Everybody, I love you out there in the chat room. You've been supporting us. We just having a little fun right now. Now, let me tell you, Afrocentric Anatomy TV. I love you, girl. I love you. Brother Juvian, we love you. August Dreams, we love you. M. Mitch, we love you.
Lovely K. She's a lovely K. We love you, baby. Sonia C's. Let's go. Random sister.
Right. The radical sister. The radical sister. the radical sister.
My beautiful Muslim sister, radical sister.
And then we got who else we got? We got True Royal Family. True Royal Family. Putting it down. Yeah. Now we got my man. He's kind of a cool brother. He's really cool, he's really smooth with his words. It's underrated brother. Underrated brother. Now, let me get to the next person. Now, if you like boxing, if you like sports, you gotta check out my man Marlo's Corner. Marlo's Corner, baby. Yeah. Check out Marlo's Corner. And we gotta check out, he's a man. He's glorious. He's older. He's an elder. We got Elder Rashad live on. Get your asses over to the Truth Channel and check out Elder Rashad's Truth Channel. That's right, Channel of Truth.
Oh yeah, and don't forget, my brother. He's also the elder, but we respect him. Ayapo, brother Ayapo.
Oh, Yapo.
Yes.
Get the beat in there now. Bop, kind of bop, 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 bop. Oh, Yapo, Yapo. That's my brother. Oh, Yapo. If Yapo was here, he would say, Black people need a code of ethics, a code, a foundation, a code of way we conduct ourselves. Cut them down. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, pop. Real Aaron Collins, where are you at, brother? Real Aaron Collins, where are you at? Where you at, brother? We got Kashmir G. Kashmir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got August Dreams. Makes me want to dream tonight. Yes. Sonya C's. Calling everybody out in the chat room. We got my man, brother Rob's in the house. Now, brother Rob, we gotta have you on the panel tomorrow with all the brothers talking about love from a Black man's perspective, sex, spirituality. Now, what I mean by this is that romantic. Is it too late for us as Black men to be romantic? And that being romantic is about not only the physical, but the spiritual, the mental, the connection to the woman, our queen. And everybody out there, thank you. We were having a little fun right now. And we got my man. Wait a minute. Let me push that up. We got my man, African Defender. Hey, African Defender's in the house, baby. African Defender, defending. African Defender. Now we got Miss Karen Smith. That's right.
Yeah.
Now my favorite thing right lines then is Shanna Cat. Am I saying it right?
Oh, my brother, the underrated darkness is in the building. It's in the building. Wait a
minute now. Let me spin this back now. Underrated darkness is a real cool brother. He's a no-nonsense brother with all kind of talent. He's a chef. He can cook. He always says, "Look at what I made. Is it beautiful, people?" The mother makes dessert. The brother makes foods and snacks. And the brother has a sports show as well. He could put it down with the best of them with the knowledge of power. That's my man. Underrated darkness. Woo.
Shout out to Shady Cat 73. Shout out to Shady Cat 73.
Ooh, Shady Cat. Say it again, brother. I gotta get that pronunciation right.
Shady Cat 73.
Shady Cat 73. Welcome. Now, I want everybody in the chat room sing it with me. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1. I'm waiting for that sound. All trolls have to go. All trolls
have to go. All trolls have to go.
If you are a troll, you got to get the hell out of here. When you see a troll, get rid of it immediately. We're not playing around.
Shout out to Stephanie Gerald. Much love for you, sister.
Everybody in the chat room, we love you. Thank you for the support, everybody. And with that said, Lions Den.
Yes, sir.
It looks like we're out of here, brother. I'm gonna have to. I have other activities that I must get involved in with tonight. But I tell you right now, everybody, thank you. It's been a great broadcast. Everybody in the chat room, enjoy the live streams that people are doing tonight. However late you stay up. And tomorrow, I'm going to try to make contact with as many brothers as possible so that we could do a live stream with just brothers talking about the issues around being romantic, sex, but we're going to come from it from a real, mature nature. Woo!
Oh yeah, info.
Yes.
Johnson want to be on.
He is going to be on the show. Everybody's going to be on the show. I'm going to send links to people. You're going to be on the show tomorrow.
Okay.
I think what's a good time? I want to do it at a time that everybody can still enjoy what we're doing, and at the same time go and check out other people's streams. So maybe we'll do it like, let's see, 1 o'clock my time is 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Maybe we'll do it around 1 or 12 noon, somewhere in there. We'll probably do it around noon. We'll do it somewhere. I'll contact everybody. I'll give an announcement so that we can do it, and at the same time, people can also check out other streams that night. Woo! With that said,
and everybody, my news and commentary. We're doing it every other week. So check me out too.
Yeah, check out Lions Den. He got a channel. Check him out. He does news. He does a lot of different things over there. So everybody, thank you. That's going to end the broadcast. Thank you. Enjoy everybody else's streams. You'll probably see me in some of the streams tonight too. What I want to know, who's having a stream? Now, you said Keith Newsom's having a stream, right?
Yeah, Keith Newsom, and I heard that Lowcast is having a stream too.
Lowcast is having a stream. Woo! I wonder what True Royal Family's got up her sleeve. And Lisa Carabaro, what does she have up her sleeves too? Woo! Everybody, we love you. We gotta go. We gotta get out of here. I got some things to do, but I'll be back tonight to watch what's happening on the streams. Woo! Yeah. 1, 2, love you. You come on down. Information man. Now, everybody, I got a little something for y'all. Wait a minute, Lions. I got a little something for you. Watch this. Woo. I'm going to stop this right here, the music. I'm going to stop the music right there. And this is to one of my nemesis. I've got him trapped in my own magnetic field. I got him trapped in my own magnetic field. And I'm going to play it. This is to my nemesis, and you're trapped in my own magnetic field.
Man. Information man. Information man.
Thank you, give me a peek.
Information man.
Thank you for giving me a free advertisement, real brother, wherever you are in the world.
Information man. Information man.
Thank you. With that said, that's all I got to say, folks. Good night. I'll be in the chat room somewhere tonight, checking out what's going on after I come back from having a nice drink and snack. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lions Den.
All right, deuces.
Deuces, everybody.